Oh, look at that. Wow, he is angry.
I didn't hit either one of them. Didn't touch him. I've been cost a lot of good finishes by him throughout my career.
Was the helmet throw enough, or do you need to talk to Tyler?
No, I just need to start wrecking some people.
Boy, the hate bubbling over in one weekend. Junior, here's Denny Hamlin. Being introduced to the hometown crowd, are you surprised they booed him so much?
Well, it's kind of been building all year long. You know, he's done a lot of things off the racetrack and on the racetrack, and sort of building up this reaction to the fans.
So it was an eventful Sunday in Pocono, as you can tell.
Everyone loves Denny.
Their run-in last Sunday. Let's find out.
Oh, sorry, Jaden. I was trying to find food. What do you need help with for your last pick?
Tyler Reddick, you had a helmet last week in Pocono. Are you concerned about any further actions from Austin? And especially since you have such a great weekend going so far, starting on pole.
Discord?
I don't think so, but I mean, you never know truly, right? But I think we're in a good place. But you know, never know, right? We'll see how this race goes. But I'm just
Bell or Bush? I'd definitely go Bush.
He did such a great job on our Toyota Camry TRD.
And that's not even me just trying to like fuck you over. Like Bush is my win to pick today.
Really cool to
So
have the speed that we did yesterday. You know, with West Coast Customs on the car as well, and them doing the giveaway on their street version, street legal, if you will, Toyota Camry TRD they put together. So we'll just see what happens.
oh, they got Emma running classic races.
I've got a lot of learning left to do here at Richmond. I know
That's
that
cool.
for sure. Talking to the other Toyota drivers, so I'll just go to work on that and make use of the track position we have.
All right, hope the weekend ends as well as it started for Tyler Reddick.
And Dave, as Marty said, these two are former teammates and have discussed things since last
You got
week.
old races you can listen to like you do on Sirius XM. That's cool.
The mending of the fences process.
The prior relationship,
I mean, he's starting second today, though.
Richmond, and I got a good Bass Pro Shop Chevy. I'm just trying to get to the front. We need a good run for this team at RCR.
I don't think Bell is a bad pick, you know?
Had a good car last
I don't think
week.
Bell
We were
would
ready
be...
to play for the
I
top
mean, he's
10.
starting
We're
29th,
able
but
to
I
get that.
mean...
So we really need to get that momentum back rolling for this 3 team, and I think we can here today. It's been a successful track for us. Long runs. It'll be hot and slick out there today, so want to make some new noise this weekend.
And he's had a few top 10s the last few races here, and Austin Dillon starts 17th today, Marty.
Dylan, we welcome Jeff Burton into the conversation here at the front of the grid. So, Jeff, is this the pressure of the playoffs? Is it the pressure of frustrating seasons? Why is this bubbling over now?
Yes. Look, it always bubbles over. Why does it always bubble over? There's only 36 opportunities to be in this series. And when you're here, you want to be contending for championships. You want to be making the playoffs. You may just want to be trying to keep your ride and have something to drive next year. It's very difficult. This is a cutthroat series.
So the green flag is at 3:16. So just over 20 minutes here.
It upsets you and makes you mad.
And the length of the season, the grind of the season, it wears on the drivers, it wears on everybody in the industry in that garage. Some drivers the season they want.
I obviously hasn't streamed the last 2 races, but Mr. 69 for New Hampshire was, what's his fucking name? Truex, that fucker. And then, I don't even know who Mr. 69 last week was. Mr. 69 for last week was William Byron. William Byron was Mr. 69 last week.
Don't miss your chance to race for the million. Introducing the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
What a power move.
Enter now for your chance to win a VIP trip for 2 to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway.
In Phoenix.
With the grand prize winner taking home $1 million. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR, and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
I still say go with Bush, but obviously it's your pick, so, you know, do what you want. I don't know why they have the caution flags from last night's truck race on here, but I'm assuming they'll take that away once we start.
Promote the saucy sheriff. No matter your cookout plate strategy.
We got a link.
Burgers taste better. I love me a saucy sheriff.
True Classic makes shirts you'll actually want to wear. A tighter fit around your arms and chest, but loosen the torso to make big guys look slimmer and slimmer guys look buffer. And hot guys look hotter. But good.
Defined by simplicity. Meticulously crafted. To be enjoyed for years to come. Thoughtful bedrooms for modern living.
Dumbass.
The following message is
at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. A nuclear attack was committed.
A nuclear attack. You think Kyle either wins or sucks? I don't know about that.
Chargers.
The pressure cooker is on at Richmond today, literally with the real field temperatures north of 90 degrees and figuratively with just 5 races left for some of NASCAR's biggest names like Wallace, Suarez, and Elliott to lock themselves into the 2023.
Jaden, it's obviously, you know, you're the time traveler, so.
Richmond is an opportunity for their race team.
Michael McDowell. Think about the 2 drivers behind Michael McDowell in points. AJ Allmendinger skipped practice and qualifying. Wasn't even here yesterday. Suarez has struggled since we got here. Michael McDowell, if he can have a top 15 day, he continues to gain on that bubble. And then Chase Elliott, he hasn't had a chance to win any of the races he's been in since he came back from injury, except this weekend. I think they have the pace to do it this weekend, so I'll be watching him all day to see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, I'm going to go all the way to the back of the grid. You mentioned him, AJ Allmendinger, 17 points back. No practice whatsoever. Going to have to rely on notes from last spring race and see if they can get to the front. Daniel Suarez, he's in the back also, 23 points back. In a word, he was horrible yesterday. Man, no speed in their car whatsoever. They're going to have done something major to get to the front.
I'm going to go with Alex Bowman, won here before. Why not? They could come back here, and they had good speed at Pocono last week. And how about Ty Gibbs? Thinks this is a good opportunity for him as well. Today's pre-race ceremonies from Richmond are coming up next.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunch call.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Something greater.
I'm gonna tell Dom to come over. I'm gonna tell him to get his ass over
When
here.
the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential, and what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
At Built Basics, we believe that quality is the foundation of confidence. That's why we obsess over every stitch and fabric choice. What started as a commitment to crafting a better men's shirt has evolved into a mission to redefine your closet. Our transitional clothes adapt to your lifestyle, from the gym to the office to a night out on the town. Our brand is all about embracing opportunities in style. Visit BuiltBasics.com or download the app today.
I need to try it first.
Wednesday nights on USA, we're giving Hump Day a whole new meaning.
Starting with Temptation Island.
I'm ready to risk it all.
Followed by our new show, The Big D.
Are you over him?
Don't answer.
Wednesday starting at 9 on USA and streaming on Peacock.
Performing
Oh, Link.
Space?
Yes, next July.
Wow, that's amazing.
Chris's new voice.
I can't change these plans.
Congratulations on buying Smash.
Hello, Akbar.
Closing in on today's pre-race ceremonies, and could this be Kevin Harvick's day? Well, consider this: in the last 5 years, he's only finished out of the top 10 one time in those 5 years. Talked to Rodney Childers earlier this morning, and he told me, I really feel like this package and this track specifically suits us so well with what we do. Do not be surprised at all if Kevin Harvick defends the win he got here last year and makes it to victory lane in his final season here at Richmond Raceway, Dave.
Well, William Byron starts 6th today, Marty, and yesterday in practice and qualifying, a little scuff on the wall there. I asked Rudy Fugle why they didn't fix that. He goes, because it's okay, because it looks tough. Well, he's never won here, William Byron, and he would like to win here today and continue his great season in 2023. Dylan.
Well, Dave, it's been a year of adversity for Chase Elliott. Missed 6 races earlier this year due to injury, including this one. They come here today on the strength of their best run in 3 weeks, but that's not good enough. They had a 10th place finish, but Alan Gustafson said we just need to be better in every area because if we make the playoffs, how we're performing right now will get us nowhere. They need a win today for Chase Elliott and the 9 team. Let's go to the command and opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as the Grassfield High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Motor Racing Outreach Chaplain Monty Self.
Father, honor us with your presence here today. Extend your gracious, mighty arm of protection to the men and women serving to preserve the freedoms we enjoy here and in our great nation. We ask you to extend your merciful hand of safety to all the fans, the track services personnel, officials, teams, and drivers watching, working, and competing in today's race. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome United States Army Training and Doctrine Band Brass Quintet.
Beautiful. I saw Truex with a new woman. Truex got a new girl.
We'll find out where Jeff and Junior 2 have 1 or 2 on the grid, plus Rick Allen and Steve Letarte.
Is my TV okay? I think it's Fox. Or, sorry, USA. I think it's them. 86 degrees in Richmond, Virginia. So remember earlier this week it was saying that, like, it was supposed to rain, but now it's saying that it's not. Let's look at the radar for Richmond. It says 0% chance of rain all day. Checking the radar.
That never happened, but not getting too far behind.
Not a drop of rain in the area. So, we'll be good.
This is the greatest racetrack in the world. We're racing it, Indy. Dust is flying. It's the Brickyard, baby. On a 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide. 3 wide on the brake. God, I love this place. Magic is made here in Indianapolis. Great job, boys. Great job. You just won Indy. Indy, baby, let's go! This is like a festival of motorsport.
Oppenheimer is magnificent. The New York Times calls it staggering. It's utterly enthralling and one of the best movies of the century. Oppenheimer in theaters now. Rated R.
This summer, Mondays heat up with all new Raw on USA.
Rhodes wants Lesnar.
This is unmissable. It all culminates live on Peacock with SummerSlam. You can't miss this.
Whoa. How do they get these things to smell so good? Must be magic. Hefty Ultra Strong with Fabuloso scent.
Vulvas get itchy, and it can be intense. Vagisil Cream helps stop itch instantly. It's real medicine for real relief. And now, new Vagisil Itch Protect Wash helps itchy, dry skin feel calm and comfortable again. From the #1 itch experts, Vagisil.
Maybelline New York. New Flossy Surreal Extensions Mascara. Lash Reality Extended. Hybrid fibers. 36% more visible length. Surreal impact.
Are your lashes real?
New Flossy Surreal. Maybelline New York. Maybelline New York. New Flossy Surreal Extensions Mascara. Lash Reality Extended. Hybrid fibers, 36% more visible length, so real impact.
Are your lashings real?
New Glossy Surreal, Maybelline, New York.
Dom's being a bitch.
At the spring race here, it was Larson's time in victory lane, but last week Hamlin made it his time in Pocono. We'll see whose time it is this time. Will they come around for Richmond and a short track race? NASCAR Cup Series racing from Richmond Raceway, presented by Toyota. Points always a big topic when we get just 5 races away from the playoffs beginning, and you see this list on the left side of your screen. All of those drivers in yellow, they've won, so they're locked into the playoffs. But below that, Steve, it's still a question mark.
Well, it is. With 5 weeks to go, Harvick, Keselowski, Buescher, they have to be feeling pretty good about their points total. But below them, not only is it a battle for the cut line, but let's not forget, you win, you're in. So any name below that red line, even names that aren't even on this list, if they go to victory lane, they'll be in yellow and in the playoffs.
Let's go to pit road and the grid and ask Junior and Jeff, are there drivers that should be worried, or are there drivers that are safe?
I know one driver that's worried, and that's Daniel Suarez. He was right on top of that battle for that final 16th spot in the playoffs. A couple races, though, he's lost points, and they're bleeding out, dropping like a rock. They came in this weekend, Jeff, and they have struggled. No speed, didn't qualify well. He said the car is broken. They cannot have bad races with only 5 races to go. They've got to start working toward gathering those points back up, but I don't know if he does it today.
Broken is not good. The guy I think on the other side of that's Michael McDowell. He's been good all year, but now we're down to a 5-race schedule to make the playoffs. And look at the 5 races coming up. He finished 6th here in the spring. He's been really good on road courses. We have 2 on them. We know that he's run drafting style racetracks. So these racetracks lay out well for him, and they run well every week, exceptionally consistent. So Michael McDowell with the upset, he is going to cruise himself into the playoffs. Now, let's go get him fired up.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Cookout Representative Drew Reeves.
Driver, start your engine!
We keep talking about the playoffs. We got a bunch of those guys trying to get in. Right here, Todd Gibbs, young driver. He's been smart, be consistent. Going to have to keep it up.
That's right. Look at Willie Byron. Already got some marks on his car. So does this 23 of Bubba Wallace. He needs a good race today. He's right there at the cut line.
This guy right here, Chase Elliott, most popular driver. He's not in the playoffs right now. He's got to win. Fast race car, that 9 right there. He can get it done today.
But they showed up this weekend with speed. They have the speed for the first time in a long time. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to see if this 9 car can win it, because we get a green flag coming up.
Bunch of boxers, preschool prints, and expensive designer drawers. I should have known this town had no taste. What the hell are you carrying? True classic boxer briefs. More flattering, more comfortable, and more affordable than anything you'll find in this town.
Here, when you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave?
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check means a guaranteed fit. Let's ride.
There's a freedom in exploring. A joy of discovery. Paradise found. Fill your world with craft. Peter Millar.
America?
You don't have to be in the race to be in the race.
Here comes the 94.
All right.
Don't miss your chance.
So picks for this week.
Introducing the NASCAR.
My win pick is Kyle Busch. I got my man Kyle Busch winning today. Hasn't won in a little bit. I mean, it's been only 2 months, but Dom has Bubba Wallace winning, which I love that. And then Jaden has Denny Hamlin winning. That's gonna be fun.
To the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
He's always right. All the buddies know that he's always right.
Now here comes Denny Hamlin to the inside.
He runs the 5 wide, almost into the fence.
So I'm sure he was in the right there as well.
Did he have a right to be mad at you?
Larson loses the lead. Hamlin's out front.
Both guys wrecked themselves.
I've been cost a lot of good finishes by him throughout my career.
I didn't hit either one of them. Didn't touch him.
And I know he says I race a certain way, but I don't think I've ever had to apologize to him about anything.
But look at that. Wow, he is angry.
Not that I'm sure he's going to say sorry after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're friends. Yes, this makes things awkward, but whatever.
And again, that was a week ago. We're at a short track, and there's normally payback that happens when you come to a short track. One driver who wasn't involved with that, and he's probably smiling because the talk is all about other drivers, is the driver that we can talk to, Steve. Let's dial up Kyle Busch.
Well, he has a good start spot right here in the front row. Let's see if we can get him. Hey, Kyle, it's the guys in the NBC booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Well, you, my man, first year with RCR, 3 wins already. I know the short tracks have been a point of emphasis. How's the outlook for the day?
I'd say the outlook's pretty strong, qualifying second here with our ex-World Wallet Chevrolet. So, certainly, you know, it's about the long run. You got to be good where it matters most, and that's keeping the tires on the car. So, hopefully we can do that here today. It's going to be hot, it's going to be slick, but we're ready to give it what we can.
Well, 6 times in your career you've triumphed here at Richmond. Handicap it for the fans. We keep hearing hot, slick, keep the tires on it. How does a driver do that?
Try to slow down, but if you go slower, they're all going to go by you. So you got to find that happy medium of where you can ride and take care of your tires when you can and make moves when you need to. So it's a hard game to play, but it's a long game, and we know that's what we got to do.
Man, good luck. We'll be watching from up here. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and the fans.
You got it. Thanks.
It is a long game, 400 laps for them. Let's check out the starting grid brought to you by Toyota. We see Kyle Busch, the 6-time Richmond winner, up here on the front row alongside Tyler Reddick, the 27-year-old out of Corning, California, who got his first pole this season, 5th overall in his career.
We'll look no further back than row 4 for perhaps a first-time winner or perhaps a veteran making his final start. He could go to victory lane. Ty Gibbs and Kevin Harvick, 2 very good cars for practice.
Dive a little deeper back in row 7. We see Kyle Larson back there starting 14th, a 30-year-old out of Elk Grove, California. He won here in April, and he has really been the short track king this year, winning both short tracks on asphalt.
Going to go a little bit further back to see Austin Dillon in row 9 next to McDowell. We heard the drivers, Jeff and Junior, talk about McDowell and his current playoff run. Behind him, Ross Chastain, not the speed he was expecting in practice. Now, a lot of these drivers, they were just on the wrong side of the draw. Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, this is one of his best race tracks. We'll see if the 2 drivers in the Ford can make a move forward.
A lot of work in front of that driver in row 15, Christopher Bell. He finished 6th or better in the last 5 Richmond races, but starting all the way back in 29th, he definitely has his work cut out for him. And then you see AJ Allmendinger to the rear. He was racing yesterday at Road America in the Xfinity Series. The official pace car for today's race is the Toyota Camry TRD out in front of the field here. Want to get a few more updates before the green flag flies. We'll start with Dylan.
Rick, being able to communicate with your team, ultra important here at Richmond. Was very nearly a problem for Chase Elliott before he rolled off the grid. He could not communicate with Alan Gustafson or the pit box, so there was a frantic scramble both at the race car and here at the box to try to sort that issue out. They switched to the second channel, seemed to have those issues sorted, so all good for now for Chase Elliott on the radio, Dave.
Hovering above the cut line is Michael McDowell. Had a nice conversation with him this morning. He says there's a pretty good chance they'll be good here today, but we're not lights out. We're not one of the cars, but they're going to try to maintain after their 18th starting position. His best finish here was 6th, and it came in April of this year. So they got a good thing going at Richmond. They want to keep it that way, Marty.
Dave, Christopher Bell is about as solid of a pick as you can make at Richmond of anyone in the field. Rick just mentioned it. 5 straight finishes of 6 or better here at Richmond. So I asked Adam Stevens this morning, what's up with qualifying 29th? He said, that was completely on me. Totally my fault. I made the wrong adjustments, sent us in a bad direction. And his message to Bell today, be very patient. Strategy will be everywhere today. Just trust me, we'll get to the front eventually.
And Marty, great point. Steve, want to bring you in during the pre-race show. You mentioned strategy and differing strategies. We could see one stop in stage 2 and stage 3, or we could see 2 stops.
Well, normally a week ago, Pocono, it was all about fuel. Forget fuel today. Stage 1's only 70 laps. That second and final stage at 160 and 170 laps. You see the fuel, 140 laps. I'm going to tell you, there's zero chance a driver's going to go 140 laps on a set of tires. They lose so much grip. The big issue is they only have 8 sets of tires. So, you know, what will happen in stage 1? We've seen drivers here put a set of tires on early in stage 1 we think is harmless. And that decision is what cost them a chance late in this race. We have a bunch of yellows. So strategy will be abundant. But if you get enough yellows, then it just turns into, you know, take your antacid and try to pick when you put the tires on at the right time.
The big storyline last week was, what would you do to win a race? And Denny Hamlin, he moved Kyle Larson out of the way. At least that's what the public have seen and looked at. When you come to a short track and there's only 5 opportunities remaining to get into the playoffs, Steve, how aggressive are you at the end of these races?
Well, I think what we saw Denny Hamlin do a week ago is what every driver in the field will be willing to do. Some don't like it, some are afraid to talk about it because they don't want to get involved in the conversation. But that does look like what
all right, bitches.
Has become in 2023.
They're going to go fast on the left.
And that Toyota on board as they come out of turn 4 for the
here they go.
We see the
green flags in the air. We are racing from Richmond.
Reddick started up front with Kyle Busch in that front row, but Reddick has separated himself early. 2 by 2 behind him, though. Denny Hamlin in the 11, looking already, trying to take second away from Busch.
Truex way up the racetrack there in turn 3 and 4. The 19 losing a few spots. Locked up the left front tire, I believe. Yeah, I couldn't tell if it's the left front or left rear. I agree with you, Junior. I saw smoke and up the hill he went. And now he hears on the...
Got some 3 wide.
3 wide top. With 2 Bass Pro cars in the mix.
Is it 4 wide now as we see that 22 of Joey Logano throwing it in right in front of Ross Chastain. Stays 3 wide. Austin Dillon in the 3 on the inside. The 14 but there of Chase Briscoe in the middle of that sandwich, and the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. outside of him. Gets sorted out. Let's take another look at the 19 and what happened.
Yeah, see Truex driving into turn 3, gets on the brakes. Oh, contact actually with the 47.
Oh, Truex made contact.
Jr.
Yeah,
you know, I think wins stage 1. I think Hamlin.
Like Truex, though, trying to work hard on that outside, trying to maintain, not lose too many spots.
Right, started 10th and back to 17th. Little bobble, lost a lot of spots.
Right now, everybody in the top 10 running right on the bottom. We expect to see this track get a little wider with the heat we had today and how green the racetrack is. Hoping this racetrack will widen out a little bit as it gets rubbered up.
We just heard Kyle Busch say to protect your tires, you got to slow down a little bit, but you got to find the balance because you don't want to slow down so much that people pass you, but you want to stay in front of them. How, as a driver, do you do that?
You just got to maintain the gap. You know, you got to help your spotter behind to tell you about the gap behind you. And you obviously can see what's out in front, but you just need to know what kind of lap times and what kind of speeds behind you to be able to moderate how hard you're driving your race car if you want to save a little bit of tire or a little bit of speed for the long run.
Had a in front of the field, Tyler Reddick, has been up front for 5 laps. Those 5 laps are monumental for the 45 driver because it's the first lap he's ever led on a short track. I think that is an amazing statistic for Tyler Reddick.
Well, they better not get too used to it because that 11 car, I think, is just a little bit quicker. Denny Hamlin started to work a different line in 3 and 4. I think we'll see this throughout the day. He ran high in 3 and 4 the last time by there, this time right on the bottom.
Briscoe on the outside of that 3 of Austin Dillon. That battle down on the bottom of your screen. 17th, 18th right there, 16th, 17th. The lead battle, you see 3 car lengths separating Reddick from Hamlin up front.
Yeah, the 45 gets up the racetrack a little bit on the corner exit. Denny likes that. He says, hey, I'll take that bottom. Move up off the racetrack, give me some clean air. Reddick will try to tidy up that turn 3 and 4 this time by Marty.
Tyler Reddick out front. He is in the playoffs with the win earlier this year at Circuit of the Americas, but this is a pretty important race for Tyler Reddick and the 45 team, as crew chief Billy Scott told me. He drives for Michael Jordan, and the guy who's tracking him down right now, Denny Hamlin. And Billy told me we have to start building some consistency and some momentum. Speed has not been our problem all year long. Execution had. Steve, they finished second at Pocono last week, and he said that honestly is the first race we've executed in 2 months. How important as a team is it when you're in the playoffs to build that momentum and that consistency going into the playoffs?
Well, consistency is the key, right? You got to have the firepower to win when you get late in the playoffs. But with 16 cars making it, 12 advancing out of round 1, 8 advancing out of round 2, consistency still pays. Only 3 guys can win in each round. I think it's vitally important. And that's really what the guy at the bottom of your screen, that 22 of Joe Logano, he's the champion from a year ago. And that's kind of what he did. Consistent, worked his way through the playoffs, and then when it mattered, he had the firepower and went and won Phoenix.
Logano, one of the drivers on the move, has advanced 4 positions since the start of the race. LaJoie and Allmendinger, both of those have moved up 5 spots. As we see, speaking of moving up, we saw the 10 of Eric Almirola move up the racetrack and push that 22 a little higher than I think he wanted to go.
Keep this in mind. We're 11 laps into a run, and the cars
keep it rigid
have slowed down over 1 second from their fastest lap. That is just how quick the grip goes away. This is a good little battle on top of the screen between Kyle Busch, the 9 of Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, who's showing pretty decent speed. Qualified is still running there, but on the start, the initial start of the race, he lost a spot or 2, has drove back and right to the back bumper of Chase Elliott now.
Maybe puts the back bumper on there as we see the DoorDash on board of Bubba Wallace.
He dives to the inside here in turn 1 and 2. He's going to try to wrap this bottom. I think he easily takes the spot from Chase.
So Bubba Wallace now moves up into the 4th spot. Nice job. You hear on the radio, Reddick, Hamlin, Busch, Wallace, the top 4.
Hasn't been a good racetrack for Bubba. And the last 3 results, 26th, 13th, and 22nd. So we're trying to have a great day today as he continues to build on his, the points he has over the bubble. We got some road courses coming up. We talked about it in the pre-race. He knows he's not great at those road courses, so a good day today is important.
2 wins on the career for Bubba Wallace, one at Talladega, the other at Kansas last year. Hasn't happened on a short track, though, yet. Dylan.
Well, Junior mentioned that this place has been a struggle for Bubba in the past, and here's the reason why. This place and a place like Loudon, these flatter short tracks, the car just doesn't drive very well generally, but it's always fast. And Bubba says, I'd rather it be that way than the opposite, so it's just going to be about managing that balance all day long. It's going to be extra challenging today with the heat and the tires that fall off, but today's just going to be about how well they execute. Simple as that. Rudy Barton, the crew chief, said, we don't try any harder here or Michigan than we do at the road courses, but it sure would be nice to have a couple of good races here to give us some buffer over the next 3 in the regular season, Dave.
Let them come back to you. That was the word to William Byron. Started 6th, running 6th, but they were seeing things on the pit box that told them Byron was doing all the right things. The cars were doing things that were going to bring them back toward the 24. Jeff, sometimes you got to listen to that and just ride in the 24 or another car. Well, the other cars are getting worse.
Well, Steve just talked about how the fall off of tires is so big here, and I think that's what you have to do. If your car's not perfect and you make those tires angry, it's going to get worse. You're going to heat those tires up and the car's going to continue to drive bad. So you have to use patience at this racetrack.
I love to hear drivers that are now appearing on the TV talk about patience. Now, Jeff, I'm going to give you credit. You always had a lot of patience. I was being funny. Wait, who are you talking about then?
I think we know. We all know. So it started off short track racing. 3 of the 14 already. A little contact there. And Austin Dillon, we'll see how aggressive he gets as the battles continue all the way around this short track. You're watching the Cookout 400 on USA.
When you drive a Ram, summer is more than a season. It's an opportunity to load up on more toys, to stop looking for fun and be the one who brings it, and to make every day even more inviting than the last. Make this the summer you drive a Ram.
During the Ram Make This the Summer event, get 10% below MSRP on all 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn models.
Subway's now slicing their meats fresh. That's why Subway's preferred by this champ.
And this future champ.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. He's cocky for a 19-year-old.
USAA? You were in the military? No, my grandpa was. He passed membership to my mom, then me. Huh. Yeah, if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served, they could pass it to you. I'll check it out.
USAA, the military community and their families.
Chance at a playoff push.
We know we can do. I'm ready to go to work.
A few familiar faces have already booked their tickets. Others are red hot at the right time. While a herd of hopefuls have some hard driving to do. Those last spots are gonna go quick, so don't blink.
Hey NASCAR fans, it's Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice from the new Peacock original series, Twisted Metal.
Let's just say in this world,
Check out Twisted Metal, streaming now, only on Peacock.
I want to take a look at the Xfinity fastest lap. You don't have to go any further back. Race leader Tyler Reddick. It was lap 2, 23:27 was the fastest lap. Steve, where are they now? What are they running?
North of 25. We're in a 2-second fall off at this point. 2 seconds slower.
26 laps in and already 2 seconds off the fastest lap. Marty.
Well, that fall off is just crazy, Rick, but it makes the racing very interesting. Let's ride on board with Denny Hamlin, thanks to Mavis Tire and Brakes. 123 degrees inside the car. So shifting, Jeff Burton, has become a huge deal here in NASCAR. But notice what Denny Hamlin is not doing. He is not shifting right now, just riding around in fifth gear. In fact, I've heard a number of spotters talk about they see a lot of cars just riding around in fifth gear and not shifting. Would that be a move to save tires and maybe gain lap time?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility that what they're trying to do is not to have so much RPM on corner exits so it doesn't spin those rear tires. And running this high groove, I think shifting becomes less important. The RPMs don't get down as low as they do when they're running the bottom.
And as soon as Denny gets to the back car, he has to move around to be able to get an aerodynamic advantage that front splitter's trying to give him. So it's working in turn 1 and 2. We saw him gain on the back of Reddick, but the top of 3 and 4 is really hard to do. You almost got to commit further up the racetrack to have a chance at making that top work because of the transition and the shape of the corner on exit. We see some people in the back of the field already moving all the way to the fence. The back 5 or 8 cars are running right up against the wall in turn 3 and 4, and I think if you move up there, you might be able to find some speed here late in the tire run.
so much fun riding on board and listening to the throttle. All right, I mean, listen to how easy he is with this throttle to try to get the power down.
See how much further up the racetrack he's trying to go? I think if he committed a little higher, this is where he would gain. All the way down this long straightaway, he'd be able to make that run.
So we went on board. I mean, first of all, look at the temperature, 125 degrees. We talk about that. But then another interesting thing I want to point out right here, because we're going to talk a lot about brake today. That blue knob right there, that's the brake adjuster. Turn it forward, puts more front brake in it. Turn it counterclockwise, takes front brake out of it to adjust that balance.
I need a Kyle Busch win.
It's also not shifting. That's one thing we're seeing here. He's staying in fifth. Is that fuel saving, or is...
Oh, you have enough fuel that's the...
But yeah, the tire fall off is insane.
I'd be like, hey man, you know how I'm on you about saving gas? You get a week off. But this week...
Just 30 laps, like... Look at that. Yeah, 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Well, watch his throttle. He's on the straight and hits full throttle like a while after being on the front straightaway. This is one of those racetracks, believe it or not, you can
cursed him the past 2 weeks.
Start finish line.
I think Nick cursed him the first week. Last week wasn't on me. It was just on his pit crew.
Do you feel like you're on the edge of spinning out if you would give it more gas? I mean, if you mash the gas, do you think you're going to spin out? Are you right on that edge with these laps?
No, it just feels like you're tearing the tires up, right? When you can hear the RPM and feel the tire, you're just like ripping the tire away from the tread as you're trying to spin it down a straightaway. And I think same thing in dirt racing. I'm not an expert, didn't do a lot of dirt racing, but I think you got to be careful with the throttle to be able to allow that tire to last. You can't burn it off. You can't run it.
No, Nick cursed him at New Hampshire. And then last week was no one's fault. It was his pit crew's fault.
Over the last decade and a half. They think that's actually even better for tire life as well. So we may see some people running lower on the front straightaway. Keep an eye out for that.
BJ McLeod is at the back of the pack. We just saw 45 about to catch him. As this is the pack. Yeah, I'm talking about. We got a lot of cars running either side by side or getting a little congested on this short.
What I wanted to show right here is how high these cars are running. Now, these are the cars that are at the tail end of the field. But this is exactly what we saw in New Hampshire just a few weeks ago. This is the group of cars that went all the way to the fence.
I am admitting it. It was Nick's fault the first week, and the second week it was pit crew's fault.
Doing this right here, the rest of the field will catch on and start picking it up as this race goes on.
A lot higher line being run by different drivers. We see the 45.
That might be true.
To get by BJ McLeod, so now one car is a lap down.
Let's take a look right here. This is the 31 of Haley, 2 of Cindric. We're going to see this a lot. No harm, no foul, but that just shows you how easy it is to slide up. Now, these two cars, we talk about saving tire and doing everything right. They have to work their way through this mess. So I think that's the hardest time to stay patient. Out here by yourself, I think you can have a target lap time. You see it on your dash. But then once you get into traffic, it's going to be really frustrating. Because even those cars at the back of the pack were running, 37 laps, right? So they're only a couple tenths slower than the leader. It's not like they're going to just drive right by him. And they're going to race the leader hardest because, they're trying to stay on the lead lap. The second place car catches a little bit more of a break by those lap cars. They're already lapped down. They're not going to hold up second, third, fourth as much as they will the leader. So this is an opportunity for Denny to try to close the gap and maybe pass the lead.
Yeah, and although Denny, you just saw right there, he ran the bottom of the racetrack. What he did do is stay against the wall for forever into turn 1, meaning that he trusts the grip up on the upper end of the racetrack. As you ride along, watch this. As we get, he's going to put the right side right on this wall, and then he's going to stay against it as long as
Jaden. Here, I'll give you this. If you'll admit that it was Nick's fault for Kyle Busch at New Hampshire, then I'll admit that it was my fault for Kyle Busch at Pocono. That's what I'll say.
Second behind Tyler Reddick, who has been out front all 39 laps.
Because Nick is 2 for 2 for giving Kyle Busch bad luck.
A little fun with the crowd, even though they were booing here in Richmond.
A guy like this who relies on his truck for work knows that his truck will take care of him, that he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps to tech liner for your truck bed to bump step. to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Foam keeps foam secure in any cup holder.
Why won't you agree on that till the race is over? You need to see how he does.
Products at WeatherTech.com.
Yeah, because if he does bad this race, then it's no one's fault.
The New York Times calls it staggering.
Besides, you know, Kyle and the crew.
And one of the best movies of this century. Oppenheimer in theaters now. Rated R.
Monday, we go beast mode.
The alpha male of our species, Brock Lesnar.
And Viper.
I'm not attempting to make moments. I am the moment.
Social media megastar Logan Paul.
All live on Raw.
Your exit strategy. Now you can escape with 3.99 APR financing up to 48 months on most new all-wheel drive 23 Toyota Highlander and RAV4 gas models. Signed, Burdick.
Your dividend.
I want to hire you. Pick up a package, bring it back. I can make your every wish come true. So what do you wish for?
Toilet. 2-ply.
I think I can do better.
3-ply. It's a big world out there with criminals and chaos.
We can take me.
Nah.
On Channel 860.
Your first place. We never stop climbing to the top. It's what Toyota Tough Trucks do. Get 3.99 for up to 48 months financing on a new 23 Toyota Tacoma. Signed, Burdick Toyota. Shop BurdickToyota.com.
NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Sonic 2 for $7 deal for limited time only at Sonic. And by the new movie Gran Turismo, based on a true story, only in theaters August 11th. Reddick and Hamlin still separated by 1.1 seconds. Then it's Wallace, Busch, Elliott's all in the top 5. Let's get a few updates from pit road. We'll start with Harvick in the 4.
And Rick, he's moved up 2 positions since the start of the race. No word on the radio, just quietly going about his work. I asked Rodney Childers, his crew chief, does this racetrack represent a place to get Kevin his first win of the year and before he retires? He goes, well, not any more really than the rest of the tracks, maybe except Talladega, Daytona, and the road courses. They think they can win here today. Got a good car, Marty.
Terrific qualifying effort for Ricky Stenhouse and JTG Doherty Racing. They started 9th, running in 11th right now, and some pretty good lap times the longer they run. Mike Kelly told me this week, there's 2 races that really bother me this year. Richmond in the spring was one of those. Honestly, felt like we had a top 5 car in that race. We had problems on pit road. We lost all of our track positions. So this is one, Dylan, that has been circled on the calendar for months for the 47 team.
It's been circled on the calendar for the 19 team of Martin Truex Jr. as well, but they have gone backwards in the start. Started 10th, they run 25th right now. Martin said the left rear is gone. We have no traction. We haven't been good since the start of this race, so they're going to have to take a big swing at it when they come down here. James Small said the summer races have been a struggle. The sprint races have been good, but they're going to have to figure something out here for Truex on this first stop. Right behind him, and Ashley Furniture on the move driver is AJ Allmendinger, who started in the 36th spot, jumped to the 6th or the 26th position rather. Darren Krause, who runs part-time in the Xfinity Series for Colleague Racing, qualified the car yesterday, got it into a window that AJ's comfortable with, and he's been able to move forward so far.
Again, Allmendinger was in Road America and that race yesterday in the Xfinity Series, looking for a win for Colleague Racing, and then this morning flew here to Richmond so he could run this race, and that was already on the schedule. At the beginning of the year, they had already targeted Road America as a race that A.J. Allmendinger was going to run in the Xfinity Series. Well, they didn't know that he would be 17th in the points, and again, you take the top 16 into the playoffs, so he missed practice and qualifying yesterday here at this track.
Yeah, I was shocked that AJ wasn't better yesterday. Sat on the pole and had good pace, and then had some brake issues and just couldn't really contend. Congratulations, Junior. Sam Mayer, it was an impressive final lap, holding him chaotic final couple laps. Sam Mayer got his first win. Did a heck of a job on that final lap.
Yeah, it was awesome to see Sam finally get that win today, and I'm equally surprised by the 16 car. I felt like that this would be a bad deficit for them to overcome, not having practice, not having qualifying for this driver, but hey, it shows us how good AJ is and how confident he is to come here and show up and move through the field how he has.
and I think it's opportunity for them to have status quo and continue their march toward a playoff position.
Yeah, and also AJ, when I talked to him, he said, hey, we haven't been good there anyway. He's like, what we've been doing hasn't worked, so let's try something different. He was not concerned about it because he didn't have much confidence coming here anyway, so let's do something different. I know they wanted to run better yesterday, but appreciate the commitment they made in fulfilling it.
Here comes William Byron looking to the inside. He's going to take the spot away from Kyle Busch. Marty.
Rick, the playoff driver that's in trouble right now is Daniel Suarez. Started 33rd today, pretty much gone nowhere. 29th right now to the car, just way too tight in the middle and way too free on exit. No lateral grip. And Travis Mack telling him to kind of, hey, search around, find what grip you can. Steve, only 16 laps left here in stage one. Suarez below the cut line coming in. What swing can Travis Mack take it from here in stage one? And when they do pit, to be able to get Suarez back up front and in contention.
Well, mission one is stay in front of the leader, because that's the leader right there. And the reason I say that, Marty, is the answer to your question changes. Right? If you go a lap down, you then can't take a big swing because you have to then pit and try to battle the cars one lap down for that free pass position. If you're the last car on the lead lap or nearly the last car on the lead lap, you could take a big swing, Marty. You could sit on pit road for an extra 20 or 30 seconds and maybe go under the hood, adjust front ride height, something big that's going to change the 99. Unfortunately, the one of Ross Chastain is only 22nd. So Trackhouse in general has not been their normal self this weekend. They definitely seem a bit off. But that's daunting when you hear, hey, leader, 5 cars back, 4 cars back. It's information that Suarez needs, but drivers, it can't feel good when you get that information.
Well, it feels terrible, but, we had a conversation a little bit ago about, I'm surprised it's taking this long.
The fuck is this?
Far back. I mean, it shows you how competitive this field is.
I just say white.
And Reddick, when he's get there, he's just not going by them. These are not going to be easy passes, and with 13 laps to go, they're going to put up a fight.
Ryan Newman that's right in front of the 45, about to put him a lap down. Dylan.
Bubba Wallace continues the strong run.
That's weird.
11 Racing. He's up to the 3rd spot. Came on the radio a little bit ago, told Woody
there we go.
Richie, I'm just cruising right now, so they're pretty happy with that race car. Bubba told me earlier this morning, too, he said, we're normally good here with the Joe Gibbs Racing setup, but a lot of times we're kind of at the back of that mix of the Joe Gibbs cars or the Toyotas, and it's been really nice this weekend for us to be up in the front, up in the mix, and one of the leading Toyotas. So as they run 1, 2, 3 right now, the strong day continues for Bubba.
That is the last lap, yeah, Jaden. You're right.
Another car having a great run so far today is this 41 of Ryan Preece, sitting in 7th position and closing right there on William Byron. He's 27th in points. It's been a tough year in an argument the last couple of weeks with a few different drivers, frustrated over how this year has went for this team. But with Hart running 5th and Preece in 7th, it's a good day for SHR. So this 41 team, they're here in the first stage. Let's see if they can keep it together and put a whole race together.
So, Junior, you just referenced it, and last week was the second of 2 weeks that he has had issues with different drivers. This time it was Corey LaJoie. And here's Corey LaJoie. He's on the inside. He thought that the 48 was going to be looking inside, so he went the middle row, and then he drifted up. He caught the 41. Around the 41 goes, and then this happened after the race.
That was you know.
Got a little heated.
Yeah, that's just a guy who's tired of being run over. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, back to back, he's been taken out late in the race, and he's worked hard for those positions, even though that was sort of toward the back of the field. It's just been a tough year for Preece. He came into an organization that was performing well, but they're struggling this year. Again, this is a great opportunity for them to run well. Maybe they can put the whole race together. Dylan. He's channeled some of that frustration into a strong run so far. He told me this morning, said we've got good pace on 10-lap runs, 20-lap runs, and 30-lap runs. It all felt good, so they were optimistic to start this day. And Ryan's a short tracker at heart and understands kind of how to conserve his equipment and make the tires last to the end of the runs or the end of the race. I think that's going to play dividends for
Blue Jays acquired Jordan Hicks from the Cardinals. Jordan Hicks to the Blue Jays.
He's still running up there in the top 10, and he's in the 7th spot right now, and he was actually closing in on William Byron. We saw William Byron go by Kyle Busch. Well, Kyle Busch has started to fall. He is plummeted. Remember, he started up on the front row, and now Kyle Busch is already down outside the top 10 in that 12th spot. Marty.
Randall Burnett told me this morning, yeah, we qualified well, but I'm worried about our race pace. Showing up now with 6 to go in stage 1. Here's what Kyle Busch said on the radio.
I get a well, that. Trends loose first, loose in, loose through the middle, loose off, then 1 and 2.
And this is the shortest stage of the day. They've fallen from 2nd now to 12th for Kyle Busch. So, Steve, what do you have in the book for wah, wah, wah off the corner?
Well, that's a new one for me. I actually find that with Richmond, your best bet is try to fix entry to the middle. Most of the exit issues don't get better unless you can position the car better through the middle of the corner, get the steering wheel out of it. You know, there are setup characteristics that you always have on corner exit. Now, I don't
told me
know
this would
what
happen.
Description would be.
Fall off.
This battle right here continues. Tyler Reddick trying to lap Daniel Suarez now with just 3 laps to go in the stage.
Yeah, Suarez is going to put up a big fight right here. He's been doing everything he can. You see right there, Reddick?
Inside now, inside quarter.
Reddick gets a run on the inside of it.
Jaden, you just know the future.
Suarez is able to carry speed into 3.
51, so keep put this battle up. 2 more.
Stay alongside him here, and then
all right.
Oh, big loose right there. So this time Reddick's got a little more of a run than he's had the previous laps.
And Suarez has to make the decision. Does he keep battling, allow the 51 to close in? Because then if the 51 gets by him, he's not in the free pass. Currently,
all right.
he's at least in the free
Tyler
pass.
Reddick's leading right now.
Wallace battled for 2nd on the bottom of your screen.
You got to keep battling here because you cannot see 2nd place behind you. So you
And
recognize that. You know Reddick has no reason to push really hard right here. So you got to make him take
Tyler Reddick
away.
is Mr. 69.
In the mirror. So you know, take advantage of that. Reddick doesn't want to get in a wreck early. Put him in a position where he's got to lift.
Great stage for 23-11 as Tyler Reddick's getting ready to come back to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
Stingy for a driver who has never led a lap on a short track. He's about to lead his 70th lap today, and not another.
All right, so Tyler Reddick wins stage 1.
And it is Tyler Reddick grabbing his 4th stage win this season. That is his most ever in a season. So Reddick gets the win of stage 1. Bubba Wallace, his teammate at 23-11. And we heard Denny Hamlin say that these 3 cars are all set up the same. So they finished 1, 2, 3.
Big points for Bubba Wallace in that battle at the bubble.
I agree. 1 point back there in 10th for Gibbs. All of those are going to matter with this tight battle at the bubble.
Points a big thing. Again, as that bubble battle continues, who gets into the playoffs? Well, another opportunity in front. You're watching NASCAR Cup Series racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. They put their names on arenas, we put ours on my lower back. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. And if this were one of their ads, they'd end it here with a happy customer. So we'll end ours with an angry goat. Oh, look at the angry goat.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Why wait until November when Black Friday deals are going on now at Ashley? Take advantage of low monthly payments with 0% interest through July 2028, in-store only. Plus shop doorbusters starting at just $2.99. Shop and save today, only at Ashley.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
gonna taste all right. The new movie, Gran Turismo, based on a true story, only in theaters August 11th, and you can get your tickets now. They are on sale. Great crowd here at Richmond. As stage one is complete, it was Tyler Reddick who was able to get to the green and white checkered first, and now onto pit road they come, Dylan.
Bubba Wallace had a great first stage, got to the second position after starting fifth, just said that a stall moment of front turn is what's slowing them down. So he's asking for more turn to the center, for Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for the 23 now.
Fifth place, Kevin Harvick needs to turn a little bit better to the center, a little better drive off at the end of the run. The adjustment's already been made. Air out of the right front and left rear. Marty.
Denny Hamlin, middle of your screen, said, I'm too loose everywhere, zero tight, and I'm fighting exit the most. The man who drives for him, Tyler Reddick, up front for stage one of the year, playoff point in the bank as well. He said, I'm really good. I just need to take care of it early in the run. The 45 team, nice stop. They hold serve here on pit road, Rick.
No position change out of the top five. Reddick stays up front.
Appointment out of space?
Yes, next July.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, I can't change these plans.
Monday, we go beast mode.
The alpha male of our species, Brock Lesnar.
And Viper.
I'm not attempting to make moments. I am the moment. Megastar Logan Paul.
All live on Raw.
Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Wendy's is open until midnight or later, so come get that Baconator.
Give me one honk if you want a Baconator.
Hey, give me two honks if you want Tyler to make it.
Go night mode. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Baconator.
Attention Medicare customers with diabetes. Now you can stop the painful pricking of your fingers with a continuous glucose monitor, and they're covered by Medicare if you qualify. Call right now for free information.
NBC Sports coverage of NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Save with your bundle, auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Credit One Bank, credit card company. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Like the James River, which is running right through Richmond. Take a look at the race analysis here, Steve.
Well, so let's talk about the race kind of like that river right here. So stage one, it's over. We're out here in stage two. We got around 160 laps. Well, fuel says you got to come one time, right here in the middle. You stop in the middle of your road trip, you keep going. But the tires go so slow, I think there's a chance we're going to see 2 pit stops. So you can either run 75 on a set of tires and then 75 more, or you can run maybe just a little over 50 pit, 50 more pit, and a little over 50 again. The math would say pitting twice is better. The challenge, you use an extra set of tires, and at some moment, there's a good chance you're going to be 2 laps down, and that is never a comfortable spot to be.
And so now the front row is made up with Tyler Reddick. He's on the inside. Bubba Wallace.
All right, back green.
As they come through the police start zone and back in front of the back grandstands. Green flag. Bubba Wallace trying to stay on the outside of that 45 and pressure it. Limit the amount he can come up the racetrack and see if he can get by on the high side.
Michael McDowell back to 5th row, jumped up and made it 3 wide, still 3 wide, but he made a ton of positions doing that.
He did that on the very first start of the race as well to gain a lot of spots, finishing 11th in that first stage. He's taking gambles. His pit crew has taken gambles all year long to put him in spots to succeed, and he matches well with that aggression on the racetrack.
Bubba Wallace pitching down that 45, and Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace to the lead.
Look who's in 3rd.
I love that.
Fans want to know. Is it possible? Junior, you talked about it in the pre-race. This is without a doubt the most speed I believe the 9 has had since he's come back from injury.
Look what Brad Keselowski is doing on the outside of Hamlin here as well. Using that high line to get by people. GoSubmarines.com giving us this perspective.
And one thing we're seeing right there, or we're listening to, is Brad Keselowski shifting. So he went into high gear on the front straightaway, downshifted into turn 1. We know the shifting changes the balance of these cars. So if you were in clean air, running along, not shifting in that first stage, when we have a free start here on new tires, everybody's bunched up around you, and you're forced to push your car a little harder. Maybe that balance isn't what you thought it was. Maybe the performance of your car isn't doing what it needs to do when you induce the shifting into it. Also, you have to think, too, this is a longer stage. To combat that point I made, you could say, hey, Denny Hamlin might be sitting there riding this out, trying to save with a one-stop strategy. We know they like to go long. The Celebrity team always goes longer than everybody else. And so maybe he's sitting there thinking, hey, go on and run hard. I'm here for one stop only. Y'all can push all you want, Marty.
And you can just to keep that in mind, Chris Gabehart a couple of years ago used that strategy you're talking about, running stage 2 on one stop to save an extra set for the end of the race. In that stage 3 a couple years ago, he spent 16 laps down the lap, put tires on, came back through the field, and won the race. So you might be right on with that. The other thing with shifting, Steve, is that this should be also a shorter run for some. If you're going to two-stop this stage, only about 50 laps, if you just mentioned a moment ago, not 70 like you did in stage 1. So he has allowed you a little more bandwidth, you think, behind the wheel to shift a little bit more and use the tires a little bit more, too.
Well, that's where communication is so important. We talk about driver-crew chief relationship. Well, right here, you want to make sure that the driver and the crew chief are on the same page. You don't have the driver out there abusing the rear tires if you're going to run long. And if you're going to run the short, don't be back here cruising, saving tires. So I agree with Junior in his assessment of the 11. It wouldn't shock me if he did something different. His style, right? Patience and tire life seems to be his strength as he rolls to the outside of the line.
Here comes the 11 as he works to the outside of the 9. Chase Elliott. Looks as though the preferred line right now as far as passing is that high line.
You know what's interesting about that is that many times in this racetrack, the bottom is the way to go for the first 5, 6, 7, 8 laps. But today, we just saw Bubba Wallace. He took the lead from the top. So, right now, we see this battle right here, the 11 car, able to hang on the top early in the run. You would think, Junior, that would get better as the tires got laps on them running up high.
Interesting to see the 9 car fighting as hard as he is on the inside here, trying to keep this position. Then he jumps out there, gets the outside line, but Chase is not giving this away.
We saw Brad Keselowski also pass Hamlin and Elliott on the outside. He's up to 3rd, and Hamlin about to take 4th away from Elliott. That second through, Hamlin clears the 9.
Out of the screens, all the guys just outside the top 20 to 5. And Larson is 20th, and that's everyone else behind him. And Larson has struggled. I thought they were really fast in practice. Didn't qualify well, and the speed hasn't been there so far in the race. He's up the racetrack now, getting challenged by Austin Dillon in that 3 car.
Junior, you were high on the 41 of Breeze on the runway or having. Unfortunately, I think he slipped to his boss 15.8 seconds in the pit stall from 6th to 18th. Currently still stuck back at 16th, right? You said, hey, keep the track position you have. Unfortunately, a mistake on the 41.
issue with Noah Gregson in the 42. Take a look at the lockup here.
So a 3 wide in front of him. Down into the corner. And trying not to run into the back of the 19 car. That's all he's doing there. And then he's loose right here. Gets contact with Corey LaJoy right there. Just hard racing, short track racing. I've seen a lot of, we're not able to catch everything going on out there. Truex has been banging doors with the 99 and Suarez. They were beating on it to the hard off turn 4. A lot of contact here back in the pack. The racing back here in the back half of the field, more intense than what you see out front. These people are back there panicking, trying not to lose spots, because they know the further they fade to the rear, the more risk of going a lap down and losing control of this race entirely goes.
The fight for position in the middle of the pack heating up. Bubba Wallace, though, out in front.
From big cities to small towns and on main streets across the U.S., you'll find PNC Bank, helping businesses both large and small, communities, and the people who live and work there grow and thrive. We're proud to call these places home too. They're where we put down roots, and where together we work to help move everyone's financial goals forward. PNC Bank.
I brought back memories.
An experienced QPC eater knows you should never let the ketchup that flows from the hot and juicy burger go to waste.
Who do I got winning stage 2? Well, there's no fucking passing really happening, so Bubba.
Car Gurus. Shop, buy, sell online.
Ray Magliozzi here. eBay Motors has 122 million parts. Let's see, you'll need headlights and the bumper. At least you can skip the car wash. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
USAA? You were in the military? No, my grandpa was. He passed membership to my mom, then me. Huh. Yeah, if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served, they could pass it to you. I'll check it out.
USAA, the military community and their families.
We got the house!
Pods handles the driving. Pack at your pace, store your things until you're ready, then we deliver to your new home, across town or across the country. Pods, your personal moving and storage team.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
Bubba Wallace still out in front. NASCAR Cup Series Racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota. And fans, NASCAR and its premier partners want to thank you. Visit NASCAR.com/thankyou-fans to learn how you can win an exclusive diamond experience just for being a fan. What you're doing right now is you see a lot of fans here at Richmond enjoying watching Bubba Wallace out in front. He's got a 1.6-second lead right now over Tyler Reddick. Then it's Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott all in the top 5.
What a run so far by 23-11 and the 23 of Bubba Wallace. I didn't have him on my radar after practice. Practice was a little broken up. It was hard to kind of handicap, but I didn't see this type of pace. But great job by Moody Barker and the driver behind the wheel. They put
The Texas Rangers get Jordan Montgomery from the Cardinals. Jordan Montgomery to the Rangers.
Is Freddie Kraft. Today he's got Trey Poole up there because yesterday Freddie Kraft's father, Tommy, passed away. And Freddie staying home for the weekend to be with the family. Bubba Wallace actually put Tommy's name over the window on the driver's side there, so it says Tommy Kraft on the driver's side door, honoring Freddie Kraft, his father's late father. Out in front, again, 1.4 seconds, the lead for the 23 of Bubba Wallace over Tyler Reddick. Let's get a few updates, and we'll go back to the 7th place. Number 10, Eric Almirola did.
Rick, I love it when a crew chief keeps a promise. Drew Blickensderfer, crew chief for Eric Almirola, told me this morning that he would get stage points. Now, Might not be a big deal, except that Eric was starting 24th. He got all the way up to 8th, got 3 stage points, and that car is good. Don't forget what they did in the spring in April. He went from 32nd to 13th on the day, Marty. Dylan, sorry.
And another big mover is Chris Buescher up 16 spots, just broke into the top 10. They felt like they got a bad draw in qualifying. We're in the slower of the two groups in practice and such, so it felt like they were much better than what their qualifying time showed. Biggest thing they wanted to do early was just move forward so they didn't get laps starting that far back. They did that and then some. Only complaint for Buescher, just the car built a little bit free on the entry at the end of stage 1, Marty.
Dylan, good call out by Dale Jr. a moment ago to point out Kyle Larson, who won the Richmond race just a few months ago here in the spring, running 21st right now. When I talked to Cliff Daniels this morning about the car and how practice went, he said, I had to slow Kyle down. He said, the reason we won the spring race, we had such a good short run car. So we tried to build some medium run speed in the car. But Kyle was driving through that, just trying too hard every lap in practice. So, Steve, I'm curious, did you ever have to tell Dale Jr. or Jeff Gordon, hey, slow down in practice, take care of the car? We heard Kyle Busch mention it earlier today as well.
I don't think you ever had to say that to me, I remember we'd come here for practice, Steve, and we'd have really good speed, and then you start the race pretty confident, happy with your car, but it just just doesn't always translate. A lot of times, speed in practice doesn't show up in the race, and sometimes speed you haven't had all weekend shows up in the race. Right? You're awful in practice, and somehow the car just is a rocket in the race, and it's hard to describe. And we also talk about this racetrack being so different. I wanted to ask you about that, Steve. This track being so different from the first race of the year and the second race. How does a track like this change so much? We would come here with the perfect setup that ran so well earlier in the year, and it would not work again in the second race, second half of the year.
I've always thought this is one of the toughest tracks to practice at, and I could never figure out why. I used to think it was because it was day practice for a night race, but I think that was a good excuse, but I'm not sure that was real, because now that it's day, I agree with what Junior was saying, that it doesn't really translate, and race 1 doesn't even sometimes translate to race 2. So, I wish I had an answer. The surface is pretty old. You would think it would be pretty consistent, but man, I've thrown away a lot of good notes leaving here after some bad decisions in a race.
This is one of the most difficult racetracks, and a little bit of track tip makes a big difference. Track tip 131 degrees, that's pretty hot. One driver that has not had a problem with the racetrack today, Joey Logano in that 22 car, started 23rd, and he has driven himself up right now into 9th place. I thought in practice this car looked good. He had good long run speed. He did not qualify well at all. He went out in the second group. The second group was faster and still didn't lay a lap time down, but in the race, Dylan, he's got really good speed.
They do, and this actually goes back to something that they tried a few weeks ago at Loudon. There's some similar setup philosophies. What they tried there, he and crew chief Paul Wolf, worked. They liked it very much, so they took that same philosophy, tried to apply it and more here this weekend. By the way, something for you guys to ponder. Joey said, I can't be tighter overall, but I need to be tighter off turn 4. So how do you slice that? How do you make that driver happy?
Well, hey, that's Richmond, right? I mean, it really is. Like, if 1 and 2 are so radically different from each other. Entering turn 1, it's a big, long sweeper, and then you get a really tight exit off of turn 2. And 3 is opposite. It's a tight entry into 3 and a sweeper on exit. So the car is not going to drive the same in one end or the other. You as a driver have to pick, hey, this is where in the race today, right now, this is where I'm the weakest. This is what I need you to work on.
And we just showed the battle between Ryan Preece and Kyle Busch right there outside the top 10. Preece has drove back up to 11th spot. I was wondering, when he made that mistake on pit road, they lost all that track position. Was that the end of the day for this 41 team? But they are racing their way back into a top 10.
And we're about to find out which strategy some of these teams will be on. Will it be a two-stop strategy in this stage? Well, right now, Bubba up front.
Hey, Jamie. Oh, what am I up to? Just visiting a special secret client. I can't say who it is, but let's just say she bundled her dream house and her dream car for around-the-clock protection with Progressive. She has another house in Malibu. She's been an astronaut, an architect, a CEO.
We're in front of her house, dude.
Well, I'd love to tell you who her boyfriend is, but I don't think I can. I'd love to tell you, but I don't think I can.
Marty, in theaters now.
Wendy's is open until midnight or later. So give in to those cravings. Get that Baconator.
Give me one Hulk if you want a Baconator. Let me get that beef for 6 strips of bacon. Oh, there it is. When I say bacon, you say Ader. Bacon. Woo! Let me get a toot on the mega. All right. Okay. Now, when I say...
Dude.
Sorry.
When the craving strikes, go night mode and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Baconator.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
Written and directed by Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer is an IMAX-shot epic thriller that thrusts audiences into the pulse-pounding paradox of the enigmatic man who must risk destroying the world in order to save him. See it only in theaters now. And we've talked about the temperature and the heat here at Richmond. How about right now from the Toyota onboard? 134 degrees inside the car for Denny Hamlin.
I think that's where it starts getting pretty uncomfortable. About 120 to 125 is kind of the summer average inside the car. The worst we've seen that I can remember is Chicago, 150 degrees inside the cars several years ago. But anywhere around over 130 is nasty, nasty temperatures. At a short track where you're working hard. Not a lot of air moving around in the car. Speeds are down. And so it's going to be pretty uncomfortable.
Looking back from the Coke Zero.
Brad's running pretty well right now.
Chase Elliott. And Harvick right there in that 7th position behind Elliott, who's 6th.
Yeah, Elliott's been in front of Harvick for several rounds here, looking just about like this. The car, though, that has passed both of them, the 10 of Almirola moving into 5th, Dylan.
So here's Ryan Preece, the first of the green flag stops and first of the front runners. This may cause some other drivers to bail and pit a little bit early. Was hearing about 10 or 15 laps away, but Preece the first to pit and get new tires.
And I want to update. I mentioned that 41 was long in his box. I couldn't figure out why with a little bit more digging, and I think there was some contact from William Byron. We saw Ryan Preece first stall on pit road. Byron had a slow stop as well, lost 8 or 9 spots. I don't think he meant to, but when Preece kind of checked up to turn left, I think Byron gave him a little shot.
Green flag pit stops are underway.
Sliding long, it was more of a shove long in the pit stall. In the end, both the 41 and the 24 lost spots on the first pit cycle, and you get ready to see why new tires matter so much, as Ryan Preece is going to look like a rocket ship here.
Dylan. There's some more stops. Brad Keselowski and said he was just a little bit too loose, needed some more rear grip, so they'll change 4 tires as well, Marty.
Tyler Reddick, when you have one of the better cars on the racetrack, you play it safe. That's what they're doing here. 2 stops in this stage for Billy Scott and Tyler Reddick. So the car really good, just a little bit too free on exit, Dylan.
Bubba Wallace is in. The race leader, Woody Barker, the crew chief, said your management of that stage 1 run was ideal. Passed when you could, but didn't force it. It's been more of the same for Wallace. He's down and away.
Good run continues for Eric Almirola. 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for him. Moved all the way up into the top 10, Marty.
Kyle Larson radioed to Cliff Daniels and said, by so tight in the center, it's just really killing the exits of the corner. Daniels said, yep, we see it. We're going to free you up a bunch on this stop.
Steve, all of these are 2-stop strategies for this stage?
Yeah, everybody pitting right now with 106 laps will probably, they don't have to for fuel, but the plan would be to pit again for another set of tires. Dave.
24, William Byron comes in. There was a slow stop on the left rear. That's what got him back in with Ryan Preece. And this time during the run, he said, keep freeing me up. This car is still tight, Marty.
Kyle Busch said, I've got moving on exit at all. And then on Channel 2, Randall Burnett told Richard Childress, I think we're just riding on the left rear stop. That's what's going on with the 8 car of Kyle Busch, who's lost a lot of spots today after starting second.
You see the 11 of Denny Hamlin, that is the race leader. And you don't see this very often. The race leader getting passed left and right. That is
Almirola got a penalty.
Kind of predicted. The 11 looks like he's going to run long. Dale, we'll see if he panics.
Eric
like
Almirola
speed,
penalty.
but he's going to have to run about 18 or 20 more laps for this strategy to work out. And another driver with a big penalty in green flag stops. The 10 of Eric Almirola had a commitment line violation. Disappointing. He had such a good car this weekend. A track he normally runs very well at.
Oh, and he was running up in the top 5, well into the top 5 when that happened.
Here's Ross Chastain getting his service. 4-tire stop and back out onto the track for him. And when you said commitment line violation, Steve, just want to explain, all 4 tires have to be on the inside of that orange box when they enter pit road.
Yeah, there's an orange box down here on the flat. We're going to see the 10 serving his penalty, doing a nice job below it that time. And what happens is it kind of slides up, and you can easily touch that box, which is a penalty. And now we have the 11 of Denny Hamlin on pit road as well, with the 4 of Harvick. Dave?
Kevin Harvick in the 4 car. He said my car is loose late on the exit of the corner. So he'll get 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, try to make that better, Marty.
Dave, I will say, Junior was right. That's what Chris Gabehart wanted to do in Stage 2. Just do it in one stop. You can see the last time of everyone on new tires. So he brought Denny Hamlin down pit road. They'll now do it here in 2 stops in Stage 2 as Kevin Harvick leaves his stall. Hamlin saying the car just got way too tight on the short run, trying to free that up in the center.
So, Rick, you talked about the penalty for the 10. So we see right here the orange box in the center of your screen. You cannot touch it. 4 tires below, clearly the right front and right rear over it. If you touch that box and come to pit road, that's a violation. Now, a little bit of an ad for, and you see right here, Blaney and the 12 having to back up. The 10 in front of him on pit lane. That's always, oh, I'm sorry, the 2. I thought it was the 12. It was the 2. There's Blaney. Man, those team.
And he had no drive off, by the way, on the 12 of Blaney. So, yes, the 12 is in and out.
Thank you, Dave. And what I was going to say about Denny Hamlin is, you know, math would say that he's actually one of the few cars that split it up dead on a third. He ran 50 laps, and now he has exactly 101 to run, Marty.
We see Christopher Bell coming down pit road here, 60 laps into Stage 2. Going to make it a 2-stopper as well. Adam Stevens making that call. I think the day not going how they expected as well. Always good here. Richmond has been struggling with the handling all afternoon long. And you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, there are a few that are going to try this on one stop. We'll see if it works out for them.
Yeah, basically we're looking at just about 5 cars.
We have to do a pass through.
Uh-oh.
Who?
Car.
Oh, Christopher Bell.
Entering, so here he comes.
Christopher Bell got a penalty.
Been sitting around 18th spot, not having a great day. It's just going to get a little bit worse now. But we were looking at that rundown, that order on the left of the screen, and it looks like roughly 5 or so cars are going to stick on this one-stop strategy, at least for the time being. Bubba Wallace in second.
Yeah, he already has been to pit road. He was on pit road on lap 123.
Yep.
McDowell at 74, Truex at 74, Suarez at lap 74.
But let's remember, Truex had no track position. He had that issue early, and he kind of got sent to the back, and he's just not been as good as we had thought. I don't know if there's damage from that contact in the left rear early, if the car's just not like they want. I think this is James Small thinking, we're not going to drive back to the front, Junior, right? We're going to have to get lucky at yellow, and he's in great shape, right? But yes, that's what he's going to need.
But with McDowell, he's in that battle for a playoff spot, and for that team to take this gamble and be one of the very few that is actually willing to do it is not concerning for me, because this is exactly what's put them in this position to have a playoff shot. They are gamblers on top of that pit box.
They have been gambling. They were 17 points above the cutoff line, and right now McDowell is in front of the field here in Richmond.
When you drive a Ram, summer is more than a season. It's an opportunity to load up on more toys, to stop looking for fun and be the one who brings it, and to make every day even more inviting than the last. Make this the summer you drive a Ram.
During the Ram Make This the Summer event, get 10% below MSRP on all 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn models.
Premier League season kickoff once more. It begins.
Hope it's
big world out there. With criminals and chaos.
Princess Peach at the end of the line. I'll make you mine.
If you're like me, one of the millions
Peaches,
suffering
peaches,
from pain
peaches,
caused
peaches,
by
peaches,
migraine,
peaches,
Nurtec
peaches,
ODT
peaches,
may
peaches,
help.
peaches.
It's the only
I
medication that can treat a
love
migraine when it strikes
you.
and prevent migraine attacks. Treat and prevent all in one.
Don't take if allergic to Nurtec. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using. Most common side effects were nausea, indigestion, and stomach pain.
We're in this together. Talk to a doctor about Nurtec ODT.
Streaming only on Disney Plus.
Hey, race fans, when in Las Vegas, stay where the racers stay, at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Ultimate pit stop on the Las Vegas Strip. South Point, everything you want, all under one roof. A little bit warmer day, but that has not stopped the fans from enjoying what they're seeing on the track right now. Bubba Wallace out front. He's got a 1.4-second lead over Tyler Reddick, his teammate at 23:11. Then it's Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell, and Martin Truex Jr. all in the top 5. Buescher, Hamlin, Elliott, Priest, and Busch all in the top 10. Let's get a few more updates, and we'll start with David.
Rick, the pit cycle is now almost complete. Kevin Harvick did not have a good stop.
And we got it out of the way, so he's got a long, long way to go here. Nothing out there.
Encouragement from his spotter, 10 feet of a long way to go, but that was slow, Marty. That put him back further in the line.
Well, Dave, for Daniel Suarez, fighting for a playoff spot, they have struggled today. In fact, before this strategy move here to do stage 2 in one stop, they hadn't really run higher than 25th. So there were not a lot of cards in the deck for Travis Mack to play here, Steve. What do you think about this call? Fighting for that playoff spot, as we mentioned, had to do something different right now in 16th, but 20 extra laps on a set of tires here at Richmond, that's a lot to ask.
Well, the big concern for the 99 is, yes, he has to run 20 laps, but he's losing so much time, currently 17 seconds behind Bubba Wallace, and when he does come to pit road, he's going to be a long 2 laps down, almost 3. So, you know, while a caution here could make his race, a caution on the flip side of this strategy could end the race for the 99.
Steve, should he be the first one on pit road of the 3 that are trying this strategy so that he can get out there and start putting faster laps together?
Well, the struggle is at some point you have to pay the piper. I mean, there's 88 laps or 86 laps to go in this stage, so if you come now, and all you're really doing is just delaying the pain and the suffering of being behind on tires. And what happens for these guys out here is that it's not just that you're slower because of tires, it's this. 90% of the field has put on fresh tires, so you're out of the groove for the majority of your lap. You never get a nice cruise down and around the yellow line, as you see McDowell, to your point, first guy that says enough is enough, comes to pit road for his 4 tires, Dave.
And Steve, I asked him about being that guy that was still out on tires, old, when everyone had new tires. He said, yeah, you try to minimize the loss, but you are so in the way, it is really difficult. But not much complaint about the balance of the race car. Maybe just a small air pressure adjustment. He was told by a spotter, just wait, we'll be in a minute. You'll get your chance to get them all back.
Martin Truex Jr. on this strategy, as is Daniel Suarez. Truex Jr. is running 10, and Suarez running 19.
We heard that radio by Harvick. I'll be honest, you know, the stop was a little slower. It's 1 second off. But some of it is just what we're talking about, being on different strategies. The 11 of Denny Hamlin and the 4 of Kevin Harvick ran a little bit longer. They ran the true math of a third, 50 laps. So if you look on the left side of your board, Harvick's up to 4th now. Hamlin's up to 4th. He's used those fresher tires. Dylan.
Martin Truex Jr. has bailed on this one-stop strategy, if you will, as well. He said, tell me what we are doing, because I'm really, really bad right now. So that was the decision. We're starting to backslide. They brought Truex in for tires.
Now Truex is going to feel like a He-Man. So back to what I was saying, the 4 of Kevin Harvick, yes, he was right. It was a little bit slower. But, you know, fresher tires, just by a little bit, is going to make a difference as he starts to move through the field. You know, we look at Buescher and Elliott and Priest, cars ahead of him in the running order. They have 8-lap older tires. And here at Richmond, 8 laps is a lot.
Gibbs just in front of Harvick right now. We see the 2 on screen. And those 2 on the exact same strategy came. Both of them came on lap 128. And Logano as well, just in front of them on that same strategy.
So one thing that makes this whole strategy work is the shape of pit road. You enter in the middle of 3 and 4, you exit in the middle of 1 and 2, so you actually don't lose as much time as you do other racetracks because you complete half a lap on pit road. So now here's Truex. Off pit road, brand new tires. Now he has to try to make as much time as he can, yet stay patient to think you're going to run nearly 80 laps on this set of tires. So you're going to see in front of him the 20th Bell. Remember, he pitted earlier and had a speeding problem. And this is what he's hoping everybody does. Hey, man, I'm going to get out of the way, give you the bottom, and get back in line. It's when he hits a clump of cars that's an issue. And if you look ahead, there are a clump of cars. It's going to be all how traffic works for the 19 of Truex. Currently, only 1 lap down.
This race is boring, but I'm not really surprised. Richmond kind of sucks. No reason this track should have 2 races.
Before the 23 has to fit. And then right in front of him is McDowell on the same strategy. And what's important also is that these drivers don't cause a caution that they do not need. This totally upsets all of that strategy if they run into the back of somebody on the old tires and get them turned around. Especially if they haven't yet to get that lap back. But you got to be patient. You got to be smart. You want these green flags to continue as the rest of the field will start to cycle back to pit road.
That's a great point, Juniors. You see right there, nearly a second faster than the leader, right? So I don't want to bore you with it, but Junior, I want to let you know, hey man, we really don't need a caution, right? We need this to run green. As a race car driver, you know what that means. See right here, he's going to get a 2-for-1 on the front stretch.
Well, and honestly, it's one of the most fun times you ever had as a driver. When you have new tires on and everybody else had old tires on, you're rolling. Marty, 99 on pit road.
Yeah, finally, Travis Mack brings Daniel Suarez to pit road. About 2 laps ago, he said, I would like to go 5 more. He said, I'm not sure we can make that. I'm trying to make my tires last. So they have to go longer than everyone else, Steve. And the reason Travis Mack, it bears reiterating, is doing this will buy them an extra set for stage 3 for later in the race. Now the question is, how far behind does Daniel Suarez get out?
Well, because he's currently at least 2 laps down. We'll have to wait and see when it cycles. And I like the idea of an extra set, but you got to be on the lead lap to use them.
Look at this battle right here for second place. And right in front of the 45 is the leader, Bubba Wallace. So this is a battle for first, second, and third. The 6 of Keselowski, a little bit quicker, but just having to take that outside line is not able to make it work. Another thing that I just saw, we'll see if it happens again on the front straightaway, the 45 car running a little lower. Look how he's off of the wall, trying to save those tires. He's really careful on throttling the car up, not driving the car and sliding the back to the fence. Very careful, and that's going to pay off on the long run. He's closing in on Bubba Wallace, and the 6 car is right there behind both of them. It's a great little battle.
Always great battles here at this racetrack. It's one of the oldest short tracks on the circuit. We've seen some of the legends race here, as well as IndyCar. 24 Hall of Famers in NASCAR have found victory lane here at Richmond Raceway. Will add their name to that list.
Before my doctor and I chose Breztri for my COPD, I had bad days. Flare-ups that could permanently damage my lungs. With Breztri, things changed for me. Breztri gave me better breathing. Starting within 5 minutes, I noticed my lung function improved. It helped improve my symptoms. And Breztri was even proven to reduce flare-ups, including those that could send me to the hospital. So now, I look forward to more good days.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Can't afford your medication? AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Ask your doctor about Breztri.
Oh, hey.
Buying a car from Vroom is so easy, all you need is a phone and a finger. Just go to vroom.com, scroll through thousands of cars, then tap to buy. That's it. No sales speak, no wasted time. Just straight up great cars. Right from your phone to your driveway. Go to vroom.com and pick your favorite. Oh yeah, she digs it. Buy your car on vroom.com. Vroom. Get in.
Things are heating up for second right now between Keselowski and Reddick in the NASCAR Cup Series racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota. That's how close it is. A little further back, the 24 of William Byron. You know, Liberty University is more than William Byron's sponsor. It's his school. Offer more than 700 flexible, affordable degree programs online and on campus. You can get your future on track today. Visit liberty.edu/24. Wallace, Keselowski, Reddick now 1, 2, 3 as Brad Keselowski has moved into that second spot.
Have to be able to see if he can drive that car and run down Wallace for the lead. Right now, 3/4 of a second back.
He's faster. Right there, he's around about a 1/10 of a second faster than Bubba Wallace. Brad Keselowski they've been consistent this year. They're safely in the points to make the playoffs, had really good speed. You see Suarez on newer tires flying by on the outside.
And that's going to cost Brad a little speed. He's got to give a lane to the 99. He can't finish the exit of the corner. You see a couple tenths there. And he's going to lose a little time right now in dirty air until this 99 gets a little further away. So this leads now back to probably around a second.
Tight action a little bit ago. Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, banging at each other off turn 4.
Makes pretty hard stuff.
Yeah, I think Ty believed Chase would be down on the yellow line. Chase up a little bit. Ty turns down, contact. Chase is like, come on, man. It's good short track racing. That's what Richmond gives us.
And the two are separated now by just a little bit. Currently running 9th for Ty Gibbs and 11th for Chase Elliott. Dylan.
Well, Chase Elliott was starting to backslide a little bit before that contact. There was a conversation on the radio about what the 9 car's doing.
I need to turn better, but every time I lean on the radio to turn better, I just get looser. So I don't know. I'm really confused on what to tell you. I don't want to screw us up words.
Confusing is the word. It's hard to figure out just what to do and how to make your car go faster, isn't it, Dave?
Ty Gibbs continuing his good work at Richmond Raceway today. Remember how it's gone for him toward the playoffs here. Decent shape before Atlanta. He'd finished 9th at Chicago Street Race, but then 34th at Atlanta, 27th at New Hampshire. Finally got back on the rebound, a 5th place finish at Pocono last week. Crew Chief Chris Gale told me, we even have better tracks coming up than this. If we can just maintain today, we'll be happy with that moving on to Michigan.
Ty Gibbs and his numbers currently running in that 9th position.
Talked to him today before the race and said he's trying to kind of pattern himself after Truex in terms of his attitude about these are long seasons, tough grinds, and he's in the middle of the battle trying to gain the points he needs to get into the playoffs, and he's trying not to get too high, trying not to get too low depending on the performance of the car. Really leaning on teammate Truex in terms of trying to manage his energy all the time.
That's a 20-year-old listening to a 43-year-old who has a lot of experience in this sport and at this level. I want to take a look at the Toyota driver update. As you see, Bubba Wallace, he's up front, and this is the most laps Bubba has led in a race in his career. So already 78 laps led, and that's tying Tyler Reddick for the most laps led, but Wallace going to continue with that number.
Right behind the 23 is the 19 and the 34 coming to unlap themselves, Dave.
Here we go.
More green flag pit stops.
Cars will start to pit at this point. Twice on pit road during this one, Dylan.
Alex Bowman also set to come down pit road, and Alex has been quiet on the radio. They made an adjustment on this stop just to try to get the 48 a little bit better.
Steve, is this early? I mean, almost 60 laps to go.
Yeah, but I mean, this is 50 on this set of tires. The first set is the one they ran short. They came 5 or 6 laps short of what I would consider the first pit stop. So now you're kind of committed to that. Everybody asks, what's working, 1 or 2 laps? Well, the 19 and the 34 unlapping themselves was a little bit of a mark for those cars. And here's the 6 of Keselowski, Dylan.
Been a great day for Brad Keselowski. Matt McCall said we're slowly chipping away at our progress all year. It's hard to see sometimes, but I think we're seeing all the hard work pay off today for Keselowski. Here's Bubba Wallace in as well, the race leader. He just said that he's been getting loose and it keeps getting worse, starting to get snappy as well. They'll make an adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for the race leader.
Oh no, slow right side. The jack comes down. Tire changes looking at him, jacking this thing up. This is going to be at least a second, maybe 2 seconds slower than a normal pit stop for Bubba Wallace.
Now you have to wonder how frustrated Bubba Wallace is, and does he drive frustrated, knowing that was a longer stop?
Luckily, that happened under green. I mean, if it happens under yellow, we lose dozens of spots. Under green, he's just using a lot of time on the racetrack, probably just a few spots.
When you see how much it is, Keselowski goes flying.
Slow stop for Bubba.
So that stop cost him a full straightaway. I mean, it's a ton of track position.
That sucks.
Kevin Harvick back on pit road. Let's see if they can clean that up a little bit. Remember, a little bit of a slow stop the first time. Balance not horrible for the 4 car. Kevin will bring it in, Marty.
Chase Elliott leaving his stall in an interesting conversation for Tyler Reddick on his radio a moment ago. They kind of talked about the strategy of everybody
not at all what Bubba needed.
And then Billy Scott told Tyler Reddick, we're going to do something different than everybody else. So slightly longer than everyone. Reddick said on the radio, I feel like it could be a little bit tighter, but I'm afraid for you to adjust it very much. One of his best short track races ever. Tyler Reddick comes in with the lead. We'll see where he cycles out.
Jaden, I have a question. I have a question I need answered. Who is your second favorite driver?
Which affects their exit as well.
Leader Denny Hamlin in the 11. Chris Kmart sticking to the plan. He has 3 more laps to be at 50 to go in the stage. Now 2 more laps. So if he does what he did in the first run, it's going to be 1 or 2 laps, and the 11 will come to pit road. Clear track in front is enough reason to run a lap more, as long as you don't get stuck in traffic, although quickly the 45 and the 23 are catching him. You mentioned that slow stop. You see the 45 got the lead.
Good question. We'll answer it.
Let's take a look at what happens. He gets in. Bubba done a nice job right on the side. Driver's done his job. Jack goes up. Jack down right away. Obviously the handle wasn't tight. Probably it could have been worse, right? He could have had tires get away. It wasn't perfect, but it definitely could have been worse, Dylan.
Joey Logano started 23rd. He's on the move. Just setting.
Don't think you can answer that one.
Every change they've made so far.
Why not?
Been better. Logano, his service completed, Marty.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a long stop for Joey Logano. Denny Hamlin trailing him coming into his pit stall. He said, I feel like, the car is the same thing as all day long. Too tight in the center, and the longer we run, that's what I struggle with. He said, I struggle to point the car correctly, especially coming off turn 2, and I lose all that momentum on the backstretch. You saw that wedge adjustment trying to make that car a little bit freer for Denny Hamlin. His teammate Christopher Bell on pit road as well. His car a little bit too tight in the center. Also trying to regain all that track position after qualifying poorly yesterday here at Richmond.
Bubba Wallace's stop, we mentioned it was slower. It was a little over 15 seconds. These guys are making pit stops in 10 to 9 seconds.
Yeah, so that... I'm sorry, Junior.
Go ahead. So right here is the battle for the lead. This is all... The cycle is now complete. If, Truex and those guys are on old tires, he's going to fall back through the field here, Steve. This is the pass for the lead. Truex does not plan, we believe, to come to pit road. I believe this strategy is going to be difficult to pan out for Truex, but McDowell, he's in real trouble, losing a lot of time every single lap to Keselowski and the rest of the field. I don't know, with 48 laps to go, whether they can actually stay on the lead lap.
Well, the 19 was 26, to your point. Right now, they've lapped all the way up to 22nd, so I struggled to see Truex staying on the lead lap, even though he might net gain a position or 2.
75 around this epic track. But we've never stopped moving forward.
I don't think we've had one side-by-side commercial today.
the next 75, we're all better off with an ally.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
USAA? You were in the military? No, my grandpa was. He passed membership to my mom, then me. Oh. Yeah, if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served, they could pass it to you. I'll check it out.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
Wendy's is open until midnight or later. So give in to those cravings. Get that Baconator.
Give me one honk if you want a Baconator. Let me get that beef.
Just got your guy.
Bacon. Oh, there it is. When I say bacon, you say Ader. Bacon.
Let me get a toot on the mega.
Okay.
When I say... Dude.
Sorry.
When the craving strikes, go night mode and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Baconator.
The NFL preseason kicks off in Canton when the New York Jets
Touchdown.
take on the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, my goodness.
Here we go. The Hall of Fame game on NBC and Peacock.
Live from Detroit.
I take the whole city down with this.
The biggest event of the summer. Just got even bigger.
NASCAR Fan Rewards is free to join. Earn points by doing what you're doing right now, watching racing, answering trivia, playing fantasy, buying race tickets, and more. Save your points, trade them in for free tickets, autographed merchandise. All you have to do, visit NASCAR.com/fan-rewards. Out in front is Brad Keselowski. He has about a 4-second lead over Tyler Reddick. Let's go through the field, brought to you by eBay. We'll start with Dylan.
And it's been a solid weekend for RFK Racing and for Brad Keselowski. Started 13, said that they missed the balance a little bit in qualifying, but knew what they missed and hoped that they were able to correct it with some overnight changes. Think they have so far. Brad has been very, very happy with the race car, just a few small changes, and so far he's looking good out front, Marty.
Well, when I talked to Tyler Reddick's crew chief, Billy Scott, this morning, he said, honestly, I feel like we have the speed to be a championship team. We have to execute. We mentioned that earlier. Build that momentum going into the playoffs. So far today, a terrific execution day for the race team. He's led 80 laps, sitting in second right now. Dylan?
Great execution for the 17, Chris Buescher as well. Started 26. They run third. They're no stranger to driving through the field here at Richmond in this race last year. Started 18th. Ended up where they run right now in the third spot. They played their strategy exactly as they needed to. Got track position early, and right now they're just trying to hang on to it. Right behind him is Bubba Wallace, who had that slow pit stop, and he came on the radio just moments afterwards and said, "We're fine. Let me work. It'll come back to us." So that's a big statement from Bubba Wallace. He's got a good head on his shoulders today. Feels good about his race car. And behind him, Martin Truex Jr. just trying to make something out of this day. It has not been the smoothest of days here at Richmond. The summer race for them has been a struggle the last couple of years. They're on a different strategy than those cars in front of them, just trying to figure something out and make it work for the 19, Marty.
After the win at Pocono last week, which was win number 50 for Denny Hamlin, trying to get another hometown win here at Richmond. Although the hometown fans booed him earlier when he was introduced after what happened last week with Kyle Larson, said the car fired off much better on this run. And it's interesting, when you're on board with him, temperatures are 135 degrees in the car. Imagine working in that. How about Kyle Busch? The rebound today, started second, fell out of the top 10 almost immediately, but Randall Burnett has not given up, has made the car much better with a race team who knows they need to get their short track package much better if they want to have a shot at Phoenix for a title. Looks like they've done that today, Dylan.
Solid day for Ryan Preece. He runs in the 8th spot, carrying the flag for the Stewart-Haas Racing Organization today. Remember what he told us earlier, we're good on 10 lap, 20 lap, and 30 lap and longer. I feel like our pace is really, really good through the stint, through the entire length of a run, and he's backed up his words. They've been really happy with their long run pace, and as it gets further, you may see Preece start to move forward and pick off some more cars, Dave.
Ty Gibbs of the 54 was concerned today about his lack of experience at this very difficult track as a rookie, but he's been doing his job well. He's on the two-stop strategy during this stage. Behind him, Michael McDowell is not. They're on the one-stop strategy, and he has been bleeding positions here on track. Just hoping to maintain it here. They will be up a set of tires, guys. I don't know if that'll play up later, but that's really the only advantage here.
Well, that's a great update, Dave, on McDowell, and you are right. Truex has found some speed and trying to make this work. I was worried about losing perhaps 2 laps, anything but. He's a half a second or 3/4 of a second faster than McDowell. So what Dave just reported is exactly right. Truex, major improvements. This strategy could work for him. He may lose a lap, but he already lost a lot of track position. McDowell, though, Jr., is bleeding points and bleeding positions quickly.
Mark Truex Jr., 6-time short track winner, 3 times right here, but it's Keselowski who's up front.
There's a side-by-side commercial.
In my day, I tried keeping up with the game. Now with the power of Xfinity 10G network, my little bro is the game. With the Xfinity 10G network, he sees the game from every angle with barely any lag. My little brother, more like my big MVP. Xfinity is a game changer.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Oh, you can only look at this. It's like a science project. Like ordering lunch. Easy for you and me, but can be so difficult for a young homeowner turning into their parents.
Are those all different lettuces?
Yes, sir. Brown rice, white rice, or quinoa.
We're gonna need a minute.
Do you have any food allergies? Well, my teeth are sensitive to cold.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
That'll be 1945. Oh, I'm just paying for my own salad.
Ray Magliozzi here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
Oh, those new wipers.
They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check needs a guaranteed fit. Let's ride.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter a black bear, do not run. Instead, speak firmly in a loud voice. Bush. And for the mountains.
That's my team out there.
If our network goes down, lives are at stake.
Our comms have to work.
Well, the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline, the network that truly
Halfway.
first responders.
So we don't worry about getting through. And they're the most reliable 5G network in America.
Out here, reliability is everything.
Extreme or routine, Verizon Frontline delivers.
The #1 network choice in public safety. It's your mission. It's your Verizon.
There's a thin line in the Nascar Xfinity Series between winning and losing, between being the future and being past, between headlines and tailspins, between making history and being it, between the sweet taste of victory and the fumes of defeat. In the NASCAR Xfinity Series, there's a thin line between being a name they know and being a name they'll never forget.
Building the next generation of U.S. Navy submarines means stable, sustaining jobs across the country. If you want to work with purpose, we're looking for you. Visit buildsubmarines.com for career and training opportunities. RFK Racing, their efforts are helping support the mission to recruit, hire, train, develop, and retain that vital workforce that will build the Navy's next generation of submarines, as we see the 11 going by the 23. So Denny Hamlin up to the 4th spot. Busher Reddick in front of him. How far do you think he could go before the end of stage 2?
I think Hamlin's going to get all the way to 2nd at the current pace. There's 7 or 8 laps, pressure tires, and Busher and Reddick. Remember, when we talk about, splitting this stage up, Gabehart, very disciplined. He's going to run an even amount on every set of tires, and I think that's showing up right here in the pace of this 11. Now, unfortunately for him, you know what beats good strategy? A really fast car, and that's what Brad Keselowski has right now. We can talk a lot about strategy, but, he's got a 6-second lead over Reddick. Brad Keselowski, super impressive. Marty, what are you hearing about that 11 car?
Yeah, to your point, very disciplined race called so far by Chris Gabehart. So going with the 2 stops and sticking to his plan. Denny Hamlin getting the work done inside the car as well, even though it is warm. He did radio to Gabehart a moment ago, so the car fired off much better. And I think that's what we're seeing as much as anything, Steve. I think this 11 car feels like they can certainly keep up and compete with the 6 car. They haven't had the handling right all day long until maybe right now. We'll see how far he can get on this run.
Well, I think it's the same for his teammate of Truex. I mentioned that he had found some pace. Well, Truex has only fallen back to 8th. And I say only because he has 25 lap older tires, and he's only a couple tenths of a second off of these guys. So we're going to see if you know, Hamlin and Truex can make it. Remember, second stage, we've covered a lot, but this is really just a dress rehearsal, Rick. That final stage is 170 laps. We're going to have to do this all over again.
Well, and you've talked a lot about strategy, Steve. How often and ever have you seen a Richmond race go this long without a caution that wasn't for a stage? Like last fall, or excuse me, in the spring, this last race, there were 8 cautions. There's only been 1 caution right now, and that's because the stage ended, stage 1.
Well, I think the spring's actually the anomaly. You know, green flag runs here at Richmond have become very, very, very consistent. We've seen a lot of them in stage 2 and stage 3, and that's why you're seeing these strategy calls, because there is risk of pitting and going laps down and all that, Marty, but these crew chiefs just don't see the risk. They only see the reward of those fresh tires.
So, Steve, it's almost like you've been on a pit box before, because just after you said that, Chris Gabehart radioed to Denny Hamlin and said, hey, you can't get there, meaning the lead. Keselowski up there by 6-some seconds, but you can get to second. Go get it. So they think they can get them all the way up to second here by the end of stage 2 with 20 to go, Dave.
And the teammates, obviously, of Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. are doing really well today. The rookie is trying to work on his craft. They can't do the same things they're doing.
The initial throttle that they're doing, I'm trying to do, I just spin the tires there. Yeah, initial throttle there because I'm just spinning them. I physically feel the tires spinning right here. I just spin them.
Initial throttle, he spins the tires. He can't get back to the gas like they can.
Yeah, that's one thing, Junior, as a driver, you know, you get information from the team. Hey, your teammates are doing this with their throttle. And you're like, okay, that's great, but I can't do that. And so the key to that is, all right, the team's got to listen. I'm trying to do it. I know you're giving me the date. I know you're giving it to me, but the car will not do it. I need you to make an adjustment.
So Ty Gibbs fighting his car. Brad Keselowski doesn't have to worry about it. He's out front with 18 to go in the stage.
USAA? You were in the military? No, my grandpa was. He passed membership to my mom, then me. Huh. Yeah, if your spouse, parent, or grandparent served, they could pass it to you. I'll check it out.
USAA, the military community, and their families.
Cool nights start with Ashley this summer, with Tempur-Pedic mattresses starting at $37 per month, Beauty Rest Black starting at $45 per month, and Purple starting at $39 per month. Plus pay 0% interest for 60 months, in-store only. Only at Ashley.
This is your moment. Critics declare Oppenheimer is magnificent. The New York Times calls it staggering. It's utterly enthralling and one of the best movies of this century. Oppenheimer in theaters now.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now you can lease a Ford Bronco Sport for just $289 a month. Plus a few more offers at buyfordnow.com.
Whoa. How do they get these things to smell so good?
Must be magic. Hefty, ultra strong with Fabuloso scent.
Vulvas get itchy, and it can be intense. Vagisil cream helps stop itch instantly. It's real medicine for real relief. And now, new Vagisil Itch Protect Wash helps itchy, dry skin feel calm and comfortable again. From the #1 itch experts, Vagisil.
You're watching the Cookouts 400 on USA, and yeah, Brad Keselowski, he is up front, but there's a lot of cars that are going by him right now. A little bit fresher tires, but look at the cars in front of Brad Keselowski, race leader.
All these cars are trying to stay on the lead lap. You got McDowell right there fading back quickly.
Smart here, you guys are all going to race it super hard. 2 outside, 5 in the middle still.
TJ Majors, who's back on the spotting tower for this 6-car Brad Keselowski. TJ's been gone a few weeks with an illness. He's back again, helping guide his driver through this lap traffic. And McDowell, that 34 car, he's fighting hard. Remember, he's on a different strategy, trying to stay in the lead lap, but he cannot do it.
Yeah, Larson the same way. I mean, Larson is in a situation here. He won the race in the spring, and now he's not on the lead lap.
Yeah, William Byron very close to coming a lap down. Blaney got by to get back in the lead lap. Blaney's got a few less laps on his tires than Keselowski. So you see Blaney in the 12 car. Now Keselowski getting underneath this 24 car. Byron going to try to race him hard, make it difficult for that pass to happen, but I don't believe he can do it. Right there in the middle of the corner, Brad rolls forward, be able to clear this 24 off the corner. I bet that 6 car in front, a little Mark Martin line going on. You know, Mark Martin made this 6 car famous. Over 30 wins driving that thing. He was the man. He was so good. A Hall of Famer. It's great to see that car back up front.
For second. Tyler Reddick has it in the 45, but Buescher in the 17, putting a lot of pressure on him for that position.
Yeah, Buescher has came from his 26th starting position and slowly grinding through the field, showing a similar pace.
When was the last time the 6 car won? Was it Daytona in 2011? I'm pretty sure it was.
What this team has overcome over the last 5 years, if not more, they were running at the back of the field every single week. And Brad Keselowski becomes a part of this program, and he's turned it around. He's putting the right people in the right places. There's a lot of credit to go around to everyone working at RFK. It's incredible, though, what they've been able to do. I don't think we can celebrate that enough. It's so hard to run good in these races, and they've turned this entire organization around.
David Reagan at the summer race at Daytona in 2011 was the last time the 6 car won.
Still putting that pressure on Reddick.
Well, so you see this battle at the bottom and the battle at the top. We see Brad Keselowski. I actually think the drive of the day at the moment, if you can believe it, is the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Contact early, all the way back to 26th position before this stage kind of pit cycle started. 25 laps on his tires, and he's sitting in 8th, creeping around the yellow line. Look at the discipline. There's no one around him. He is putting on a veteran drive. He has completely flipped this race upside down for him. He was way behind. James Small made a call. Martin Truex Jr. committed, focused, and he's going to finish this stage inside the top 10. If Truex goes on to a good day or even a win, it'll be stage 2 that this team will circle where everything changed.
Steve, aren't you the same guy who told us just about, 10 minutes ago that he'd be 2 laps down potentially?
Well, you see what happened to the 34. They were tracking together, and all of a sudden, whatever the 19 found, either with adjustments or behind the wheel, he stopped the degradation in the tire, where the 34 continued to lose time. The 19 of Truex did anything but.
Larson running right up against the fence now.
At the top of the screen there, you see it. Brad Keselowski putting cars a lap down. Larson still lurking right there behind him, trying to get himself back on the lead lap. 4 laps to go on the stage. If he cannot do that, can he at least stay there to be able to get the free pass? And the 48, his teammate
blocked him,
cuts him off, and runs him up the racetrack right here, trying to take that high line away. That's how competitive it is. You want to be the first car a lap down or try to get back to Brad. I really think Larson thinks he can get back to Brad. He got it right up against the boards at 3 and 4. Was making really good time, but now that he's got the moment, he's slowed down a little bit. So here we go. The 5 has got another run on the 48 down the back straightaway. Here's a replay of him getting chopped a little bit right there. Now the 48 is going to take the top of the racetrack. And if Larson's going to get this pass done, he's going to have to do it on the bottom of the racetrack with 2 to go. And will Brad? Yeah, this will be a great race right here. Will Brad catch another car to put another car lap down? Blaney is the next car at the tail end of the field. And I don't think that Brad gets there. So this is the race. The 48 and the 5 is the race for the free pass when this caution comes out. And they are leaning on each other back there. Damn,
literally touching as they go through the turn 3 and 4 one more time around in stage 2.
All right, final lap of stage 2.
It's the battle right here. Brad's going to win the stage. This right here is a battle for the free pass.
Bowman or Larson? Bowman has the spot right now. And you mentioned it, Keselowski. Yes, he's going to win the stage by a long shot.
All right, Brad Keselowski wins stage 2.
The 5, you can see him sideways on the corner, just could not get it done.
So Keselowski, his 3rd stage win this year and at Richmond. As we see it populated again. The top 10 all receiving stage points. Keselowski now with a playoff point.
Yep, Bowman gets the free pass.
Things heating up here in Richmond. You don't want to make mistakes, especially now that we're getting ready for the final stage. Brad Keselowski wins stage 2.
Subway's now slicing their meats fresh. That's why soccer pros like me prefer the Grand Slam ham.
And this turkey pro prefers fresh sliced turkey.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too.
Glad you made the cut.
You mean slice?
Seriously?
I'm gonna pull over and stretch my legs.
I think he was supposed to keep left there.
I'll be back. I'm going to look for food.
Bundles as far as the eye can see.
I'm a scavenge.
Mate, I know a guy. Me, I'm the guy.
Let's go.
4 types of jerky. This is where I live now.
You could save a ton with Progressive by bundling your boat or RV with your home and auto.
Hey guys! Free bags! They're just giving them away!
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
If you thought 1 napkin for the quarter pounder with cheese was enough, it's not enough.
On the next Hump Day Wednesday.
I've got to talk to Caitlin or I can't make it much longer.
What are you doing here?
Paul's literally out here right now.
That's not fair. Just say it. What are you gonna say?
Are you serious, Paul?
Then on the Big D, even the strongest couples
I wanted you to be there with me.
I'm gonna walk out.
What the
start to crack.
It is making me want to run. I kind of need space.
I don't know what's gonna happen between me and Casey.
I'm just like so angry.
It all starts Wednesday at 9 on USA and streaming on Peacock.
Getting ready for pit stops in the final stage. NASCAR Cup Series racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota. Well, NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can follow your favorite drivers with access to their in-car cameras. Even choose some alternate camera angles to customize your entire streaming experience. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/drive, or you can download the NASCAR mobile app to watch all of the action. Crews ready up on the wall as they want to do a perfect stop. There might only be one more after this, or whatever strategy plays out, maybe 2 more as cars making their way onto pit road. Dylan?
RFK Racing 1 and 2. Race leader Brad Keselowski pulls in first. Top of your screen. Team said did a great job managing those tires. Just a little bit free. His teammate Chris Buescher said he was also starting to get free, but fires off really good, Marty.
Dylan first and third in the 2 stages so far today for Tyler Reddick, who radioed to Billy Scott, hey, I had brake shake on that run. I don't know what happened. That was a problem, a big problem for them here in the spring. And they said, we know what to do. They're in that first pit stall. We'll see if they can gain some track position. No, Keselowski flashes by. Reddick leads with 4 fresh Goodyear tires. He also wanted a water. I know we've showed it, Rick, but it's awfully warm inside the car for the drivers.
Very warm. We've seen the temperatures around 135 degrees inside. We see Busch and Gibbs both gaining spots on pit road.
Subway refreshed everything, and now they're slicing their deli meats fresh. That's why this QB prefers a new 5-meat beast.
And this QB prefers it.
And if we prefer it,
we
you
know
know
you'll
you'll
prefer it too.
Are you trying to out-spokesperson me?
Maybe.
Car Gurus. Shop, buy, sell online.
the heat on the street, and I am here asking women one heated question. Where do the hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause come from? The depths of hell. What if I told you they come from your hypothalamus, which is the area of your brain that regulates temperature? Seriously? Really? Yeah. Oh, wow. I had no idea. I know, you are not alone. Millions of women experience it. And now we know it's VMS, a real medical condition worth talking about. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. If you are heated about being overheated, go to what's...
I suffer with psoriatic arthritis and psoriasis. I was on a journey for a really long time to find some relief. Cosentix works for me.
Cosentix helps real people get real relief from the symptoms of psoriatic arthritis or psoriasis. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen.
I move so much better because of Cosentix.
Ask your rheumatologist.
And only on Disney Plus.
Getting ready for the start of the final stage, and you see the points earned today. Again, up to 10 points, you win a stage, all the way down to 1 if you finish in the 10th spot. And Reddick gets 18 points. Bubba Wallace, that's big, at 16 points for Bubba Wallace, because right now, coming into this race, Bubba Wallace was only 27 points above the cut line.
On the pre-race show, Marty asked Junior and I to go through those bubble drivers and who we thought could get in and how. When we talked about Bubba Wallace, we said, hey, self-admittedly, he's not raising his hand as a great road course racer. We have a couple coming up. Those points through the stages today, that can be just the thing that takes the pressure off him going to the road courses. I mean, maybe even a win. He looks good enough to win. So a big day for the 23 club.
Yeah, somebody that's not having a big day, and I said that he was going to get himself into playoffs. Michael McDowell removing equipment. He was running 23rd. His strategy was not working out, but now that penalty, he's going to have to go all the way to the back of the grid. So this is not the race this team needed at all in this tight point battle. They're going to, unless something happens here, they're going to have a lot of ground to make up after this race.
Now this stage is 10 laps longer than the stage we just ran. One stop did work for Truex relative to the field, but not really relative to the leaders. He still lost time to the leaders. So, I mean, it's all about this restart. RFK on the front row, feeling great. 23-11 on the second row, right behind him. And now it just comes down to really what you just saw. I mean, barring yellows, it's going to be a couple stops. When you make them stops, how well you do it. Make sure the pit crew's clean. Make sure the driver's clean. There's just a lot of moving parts to this last 162 laps. Now we got a lot of names up there in the top 10 that are new or have worked their way back in the top 10 from the first part of the race, and that's Kyle Busch up there in 5th. And then you have Priest and Austin Dillon having a top 10 run so far today.
For this restart, we're going to let you ride along with Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott as we get ready for the green for the final stage. Steve, you mentioned the strategy that played out as we see Denny Hamlin go wide and really high, trying to take advantage of this restart. Can he get by the 23?
Bubba's going to give him the room.
Now they're door to door.
Bubba's going to beat him on corner exit here. Here comes the 11 back on the outside. Priest trying to block there, the 54 of Ty. Ty did right in the back bumper of the 41 car, Priest.
Yeah, this final stage, things are heating up here.
These restarts are always fun, especially in stage 3, Rick. Chaos.
Hamlin still fighting hard on the outside of Bubba Wallace. We'll see if he can clear him. He does. He's going to stay in that second line, see if he can get Tyler Reddick now.
Tyler right there in front of him, and then he'll have the momentum off the corner, pulls away from Bubba Wallace. Does he go to the inside of the 45 here for turn 3? Nope. Staying in that second groove, trying to make it work. He's got some momentum again down the front straightaway. He's trying to look to the inside. Tyler Reddick trying to cover.
Hamlin, so much success here at Richmond.
So Hamlin right now, it's going to be really difficult to carry the speed into the corner. This is where the bottom's got to work, middle and exit. You can see Tyler Reddick has enough grit to keep Hamlin behind him. These guys on the outside can drive to the corner. Oh, loose in the corner right there for Reddick. He recovers. Gets the car turned, throttles up off the corner, and drives away from Denny.
Brad Keselowski, then Busher, the two RFK cars running 1 and 2. Then it's Reddick, Hamlin, Wallace, all in the top 5. Steve, we mentioned earlier about the different strategies. Just because you did a 2-stop strategy in stage 2 doesn't mean you have to stay with that same strategy. Other people could go to that single stop strategy in the final stage.
Yeah, each stage kind of races by itself. Really, the only driver that is in any sort of concern is the 20th Christopher Bell, who decided to take the wave around to get on the back of the lead lap. He's currently 19th, 9 seconds back, really behind the pack on old tires. He's hoping for a yellow right away, but everybody else is squared up on fuel and tires.
I was looking back from the BuildSubmarines.com onboard as we see now Logano going to the inside of Austin Dillon.
Yeah, it's a good battle, good run for the 3-car of Austin Dillon after the disappointment of last week and basically a disappointing season all around. But he's come to a good racetrack for him. He had some good runs at Richmond. He's going to give this spot up to Logano. See Chase Elliott lurking there behind. And then Ty Gibbs in 11th place. Remember the block Priest threw on him on this restart? The 54 is faded back to the bumper of his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. in the 19th.
And you wonder if Martin Truex Jr., we've seen him play that one-stop strategy, Steve. You wonder if Martin, if they're going to play the one-stop strategy, you have to save tires now. Like, if you're going to make that work, you've got to save tires at the beginning of the run. If not, you can hurt your tires really badly pushing hard right now. You wonder if that's a little bit of what's going on with them at the moment.
And you see these 3 cars right here, 3 wide, racing everywhere. Another car with a great recovery, Jeff. The 10 of Almirola, he's back up to 15th after that commitment line violation. So doing a nice job. And it is going to be interesting to see, not only how many times they stop, but what lap they stop on. That could be a big difference, right? Where you blend back in traffic.
Take another look back here at the 2 of Austin Cindric and the 43 of Eric Jones.
Eric's got him up the racetrack. A little bit of contact there. Cindric won't be happy.
And Chastain running in the back of 42. This is fun to watch these guys. We talk about the leaders a lot, but some of the best racing, as we said today, happens back here around these positions in the back of the field.
You mentioned Chastain. I mean, they just have not run well. Suarez has not run well. Suarez back in 30th, Chastain in 25th.
It gets more and more entertaining as the race goes on because they're more and more ticked off about how their cars drive and running in the back. And so their fuses get shorter and shorter and shorter.
Jeff, you mentioned the fact that Martin Truex Jr. might have to take it a little bit easier. Mentally, though, after what he did in that last stage, does that tell him maybe I can run a little bit harder at the beginning of this stage because of how well he was running at the end of that run?
I think this is when you really hurt your tires. This early part of the run, you got to be really smart with them. And so you want to go and just run as hard as you can. But if you know your strategy is to run long, then I think you have to start conserving tires at the very beginning of the run.
So a good side-by-side battle here as Chase Elliott looks to the inside of Austin Dillon. That's for that 9th spot. Dillon has it. Elliott trying to take it away.
Man, it seemed like last week after practice it was not easy, but we had a good idea who was going to be fast or who wasn't in the race. We covered practice yesterday, and some of the cars I thought were going to be good just are not today. Back to that conversation we had earlier, Junior, right? Like, this was really hard. I thought Busher looked pretty good, and maybe Brad is way better than I thought he was going to be.
Right here for 9th and 10th. These are the 2 best Chevrolets in the field. And, the Fords are out front, 1st and 2nd, and the Toyotas, and we had talked since we brought the broadcast back to NBC that the Fords have having a bit of an off year. But since Atlanta, the Fords have been one of the stronger manufacturers. They come to a short track where they typically...
It's very interesting, guys. The 2 RFK cars
and they're performing really well.
Their best lap was on lap 241 and 242. Everybody else was on lap 2 and 3.
Yep, he's still on the inside. Good side-by-side battle.
Wow.
When I talked to his crew chief, Keith Martin, this morning, he said, what an up-and-down year it has been. We're kind of looking for small victories now, 30th in the points, 160 away. They can't do anything about the playoffs except win. So small victories, yes. Would they like the big victory? Absolutely. He said, but week by week, consistently doing the right things, that's where we're headed with this team right now.
So Chase Elliott has made the pass on Austin Dillon. He's running in the 9th position, just a couple spots ahead of him. Also in a Chevrolet is Kyle Busch running in that 6th spot. But right now, the Fords dominating with Keselowski 1-2.
In my day, I tried keeping up with the game. Now with the power of Xfinity 10G network, my little bro is the game. With the Xfinity 10G network, he sees the game from every angle, barely any lag. My little brother, more like my big MVP. Xfinity is a game changer.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
Is hotter every summer than WWE. Mondays heat up with all new Raw on USA. It all culminates live on Peacock with SummerSlam. The biggest event of the summer just got even bigger. You can't miss this.
Next Sunday on the streets of Nashville, it's NTT IndyCar Series Racing. That coverage beginning at noon Eastern on NBC and Peacock. You know, the top two right now, Alex Palou and Joseph Newgarden, they both have 4 wins. There's only 5 races remaining in the season, and that's from Nashville, the streets of Nashville. As we see RFK Racing looking very strong here at Richmond with Keselowski out in front. And Chris Buescher running in that 2nd spot.
Buescher hounding his teammate just a little bit. Can't imagine that Buescher's probably not pushing as hard as he can just yet. And he was running a little bit offset in that last corner, trying to keep air on the nose, but follows Brad through 1 and 2.
What a great feeling, huh, for a team to have the guys running first, second, out 2 seconds on the field right now.
They look like their car's just getting better as the race is going, too. I didn't really think they had this kind of speed at the start, but once they've gotten the clean air, they're just so much faster than the rest of the field.
It's been 2 years since Brad Keselowski has been to victory lane. When he has a race like this, he's already been out front the most laps, 82 laps. Do you start thinking about the possibility of getting to victory lane, or is it too soon in this race?
Oh, you're thinking about it. Oh, yes, you are. You're scared to think about it? Yeah. You're thinking about it.
Trying not to think about thinking about it.
There's no way you can't. Think about what Brad Keselowski, you just said it. It's been a while since he's been in victory lane, but also, you know, buying into this team and saying, hey, we're going to get back to the front and have your teammate running second, you leading. There is no question that winning is on your mind right now.
He's got a very hungry Buescher behind him. Chris Buescher bringing that 17. He's closed the gap now. It's almost the bumper for the lead here. Dillon
Well, it's been a long, hot day in the office for all of these drivers. Bubba Wallace, no exception to that. Here's the radio of maybe who he was a little bit displeased with just a moment ago.
11 car is fighting loose. So, hey.
Remember, that's car owner and team driver, so the driver a little upset with the boss right now, Marty.
Yeah, and I think that might have been after the restart. So Denny Hamlin has been saying all day long, his car just loses way too much speed over the run. So Dale Jr., question for you. If you know, hey, my car is not that good on the long run, does that make you a little extra aggressive behind the wheel on the restart, taking advantage of a short run to get some speed out of the car?
Yeah, I think so. You know, you got to take advantage of that opportunity when you can. If you have that short run speed, you try to make the most of it. But I think that this track is changing a ton, so that long run speed could come to you. We have a lot of cloud cover right now, and so you know you have some sun on the track at times, but it's going to start cooling off, tightening up a little bit as this race goes on. So if Denny's fighting a loose race car, I think the track comes to him for those final 100 laps.
Top two looking strong, as I mentioned. Then it's three Toyotas with Reddick, Hamlin, and Wallace running 3, 4, 5. Kyle Busch in a Chevrolet is 6. A couple more Fords with Freese and Logano, 7th and 8th.
And I mentioned the 20 of Christopher Bell had taken the wave around. The time had run out. The driver of the 20 is coming down pit road. Gets the yellow lead. I like the gamble. Win in the bank. Unfortunately, I don't think the gamble's going to pay off, Marty.
Yeah, I talked to Adam Stevens right after that move. He said, hey, it was the only shot I had today. It's been a struggle this weekend for the 20 car. Not much pace in race practice, not much pace in qualifying practice either. And to Adam Stevens' point, Steve, sometimes you got to roll the dice. If you know, hey, I'm going to lap down for most of the day. They took the wave around, and normally stage 3 brings some cautions. That's what they were banking on. They never came.
So only 2 cautions for this entire race, and those came in stage breaks.
We're watching the 17 car Buscher, and he is continuously pounding the leader, and I think his car is much quicker. He continues to run a little bit faster laps. Just kind of wondering who's struggling. Is either one of these drivers struggling, or are they both setting a very comfortable pace, Dylan? So they are both pretty happy, but TJ Majors, Brad Spotter told him, do not get off the yellow line on the bottom and keep your left front on it all the way off the corner to the restart zone. Make Buscher go around you the long way. So Brad changed that from how they restarted, and for now, he's been able to hold his teammate off. But for how long is the question? Yeah, exactly. I think that Buscher eventually is going to get a little less patient, sitting here right behind Brad. But making this pass on the top here, he's got a little momentum. Can he get there? Can he get there? Just not quite able to get up alongside Brad. I think once he does get the car on the outside quarter panel, then he's got Brad in a tough position to be able to not be able to finish the corner. He just can't get there. He's faster, but having to go the longer way around the racetrack, making it tough for the 17.
Dave, what's going on with Eric Almirola?
Everything good today, Rick, except for that penalty on pit road. It was interesting. In stage 1, he drove from 24th all the way up to the front of the field, and then he got that commitment line penalty and drove back up to 13th after that from the back of the field. Drew Blinkenstrafer, his crew chief, told me this morning, you know, Eric will not go crazy and burn up his tires, but he had to on that second run. Yeah, he fell off right there at the end, but after the penalty, he showed that the 10 car can go when it needs to. Right now, he says it's just too over-rotating in the center of the corner.
Almirola currently running in that 14th position.
Yeah, and all 4 SHR cars inside the top 15. Big turnaround for the organization.
Advance in Advanced Auto Parts. I need that die-hard power. And the reliability and rugged durability, right? Yes. That's why diehards choose diehard.
And Advanced Auto Parts is the home of diehard. We'll even install yours for free.
Abuela? She makes a list of us.
This is how we advance.
That's my team out there.
If our network goes down, lives are at stake.
Our comms have to work.
Or the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline, the network that truly prioritizes first responders.
So we don't worry about getting through.
they're the most reliable 5G network in America.
Out here, reliability is everything.
Extreme or routine? Verizon Frontline delivers.
The #1 network choice in public safety. It's your mission. It's your Verizon.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy. Let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready. Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
In my day, I tried keeping up with the game. Now with the power of Xfinity 10G network, my little bro is the game. With the Xfinity 10G network, he sees the game from every angle with barely any lag. My little brother, more like my big MVP. Xfinity is a game changer.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
There are many types of turns at the Glen, not just the 7 that are paved with asphalt. There's the opportunity for a driver's first win, and a chance of payback for another. There's space to camp under the stars, and seats to see the ones down below. There's man, machine, and a quiet track nestled in the woods, ready to put on one amazing show. And it's your turn to witness it all. Watkins Glen. Get your tickets now at theglen.com.
Things heating up as we see the 17 closing the gap on the 6 of Keselowski in the NASCAR Cup Series racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota. Can he find the preferred line? Buescher now under a car length away. As quickly as that happened, saw the 7 drift up the track and the 22 on pit road, Dylan.
Joey Logano, as James just said, that he has been as free on this run on exit as he's been all day. So they need to make some changes, get Logano a little bit better. Chris Buescher, I believe, is on his way in, or there he is right there. So didn't say much on the radio on this run, just was searching for some clean air and a way to get around the race leader and his teammate, Brad Keselowski. On the bottom of your screen, Bubba Wallace, kind of the same thing. Been pretty happy on this run. Just needs some center turn and lateral grip for the 23. Well, the 17 came to pit road. That forces the leader, Brad Keselowski, to counter.
All right, so the leaders are pitting.
See if one lap fresher is the difference for the 17 of Buescher as Brad on an awkward turn into his pits. Looks weird, but it's clear because the driver's allowed to have the right rear out of the box. Right front, left rear must be in the pit box. Right rear can be out, so it's legal. It's just slow. So on the top of your screen, you see the 6 on pit road, the 17 in the middle of the corner. So right here is the 17 of Buescher on the front stretch. This one I don't think is even going to be close. I think the 17 between coming a lap early and I'm sure that awkward entry by the 6 of Keselowski is going to cost the 6 a ton of time against his RFK teammate. Nearly the entire back straightaway.
Yep.
So two stop strategies taking place right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All these guys with 114 to go are going to have to stop a couple times. Hamlin's going to run long like he did the last time and split it up, probably dead on the map. So now the risk, right? So RFK pitted, first guys to pit road. But now Hamlin, Truex, Elliott, they're thinking, I see debris here, debris here, debris here. Let me see a caution. That would change everything.
Chase Elliott on pit road. Dylan.
There's still been a little bit of a struggle for Chase Elliott today. Just hasn't been able to get the balance exactly how they wanted to. But they've just been chipping away and trying to get some points today as best they can. Just maximizing the day for the 9, Marty.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., they've lost a handle a little bit on the car the further they've run. But they've hung around the top 15 all day long. As Rick and Steve just talked about, all these teams thinking about 2 more stops. Hamlin, no word on his radio when he would come to pit road. He's leading right now.
14 and 34 also on pit road now as we see the 47 coming off of pit road. Ross Chastain also on pit road.
You know, as we see Chastain's pit stop, the struggle for the guys that stay on the racetrack of the new tires are just completely eating them up. Dylan. Now, Ross Chastain, you saw him there. He's been tight, he's been loose, he's been everything in between. So, has not been the day that either of the Trackhouse cars have won, and Chastain's included in that as he's completed his service. So, what I mean by the new tires eating them up is not really the positions that matter. But once again, Denny's not running the line he wants to run. He keeps getting forced off the preferred line. So, here comes Keselowski. He's going to fill the box as well, forcing the 11 up the racetrack. Now, the 11's going to get stuck behind the 7, probably costing him even more time. 7 pulls up, that allows the 11 to get to the bottom completely. But you see the difference between old and new tires. I mean, it's a huge difference. And you can also see on the left side of the screen with the running order, the issue.
How's the race going? It's pretty boring, but I mean,
position or the spot to Buscher,
it's not.
Which will be the lead when this cycle.
I don't know.
So he lost
it's going aight.
Wallace and Ryan Preece, who came to pit road first. So
kind of wish Kyle Busch was doing a little better.
Potentially sitting there with a position to win this race. Now he's going to have some work to do. Morning.
You see Daniel Suarez coming down pit road. Let's go back to the beginning of their day in stage 1. They decided to try and make it on one stop. Really hasn't worked out for them. 2 laps down for most of the day for Daniel Suarez. Again, one of those drivers near the cutoff line trying to make it in. Denny Hamlin, the leader. You're going to watch it right here. He's going to come to pit road looking to trying to hang on to that race car. But Chris Gabehart staying very disciplined to the number that he wanted to get to. 53 laps into this run. He brings his driver down pit road. Hamilton at A, he had a little brake shake on that run, but the car starts way too tight and then immediately almost flips to way too loose, which is what Bubba Wallace was talking about on the radio a moment ago. So Hamilton coming in here for fresh Goodyear tires, looking for a clean stop here, Dave.
And now Ryan Blaney comes down pit road. This car, most of the day has not been to his liking, but it came around a little bit during this stage. So he'll get his 4 Goodyear tires, his Sunoco fuel.
You hope Hamlin or Truex don't win. I just hope Truex or Harvick don't win. Denny Hamlin's now turned into like my top 5 favorite drivers after last week.
Still see that temperature of 132 degrees. It's been north of 130 degrees for almost the entirety of this race. As William Byron is on pit road now, Dave.
And he's just trying to battle back here. They were off sequence. They had lost time. It's been a rough day for them. But the last few laps, Rudy Fugle, his crew chief, is trying to encourage him to set lap times that would set a pace that they believed would help them toward the end of this. We'll see where he cycles back at the end of stage 3.
Well, cycle's the question. Pit cycle is in the midst. You see Truex leading, Bowman second, yet to pit. Let's listen into the 19 and what they're thinking.
Your lap times are excellent. Just keep pressing on. For how long, just so I know what to do tire-wise? A while or not? About 20, 25 laps we can go ahead.
All right, there you have it. 20 to 25 laps tells me that James Small is going to risk it, stop once. And I think this is one of those stories that he may not think this is a strategy to win the race if it runs green. But Dylan, you know, he's leading the race. A caution, he has that extra set of tires. A caution would bring the 19 right into the best track position. Yeah, that's it. They've got those extra tires. Remember, that's the opposite of the situation they were in at the end of the race in the spring. So the interesting thing about this is Martin has been complaining this entire run. He said, I have no rear grip. I can't get off the corner. But James Small has just kept reiterating, your pace is good. Just keep doing what you're doing because we're in a good spot. So I know you know how hard it is to convince a driver to just stick with the plan. But you're right. If they get one lucky break here, it could all go exactly as they drew it up. We talked about how the 6-car Keselowski.
Who's your least favorite driver? Truex and Harvick and Sendik. They're pretty much all equally. I hate all 3 of them. Truex, Harvick, and Sendik. And then everybody else, I pretty much like. I mean, Kyle Busch, my guy. It's like Kyle Busch, my favorite driver. Then Ross Chastain. Then Bubba Wallace. And then, like, probably Larson and then Hamlin. And then everybody else is pretty much, like, equal after that.
Right behind them, Brad Keselowski trying to overcome the issue he had on pit road. But
Oh, Justin Haley, duh. I'm fucking dumb. Justin Haley. I love Justin Haley. He's probably my, actually, yeah, he's probably my 4th favorite driver. Then Larson, then Hamlin.
And a huge improvement. Right now, he's 27th in points. So Ryan Preece having a great day here at Richmond.
First guy, cold and smooth survival skills.
Stop. Leaves of 3, leave them be. Cans of 6. Take your pick. And head for the mountains of...
You don't have to be in the race to be in the race.
Here comes the 94.
Don't miss your chance to race for the million. Introducing the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
What a power move.
Enter now for your chance to win a VIP trip for two to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway.
In Phoenix.
It's the worst flip you've seen on TV. Mine are 2015 Austin Dillon and 2020 Ryan Newman. On live TV that I actually watched live, probably Ryan Newman, and then Myatt Snyder. That was pretty bad.
2028 in-store only. Plus shop doorbusters starting at just $2.99. Shop and save today, only at Ashley.
That's my team out there.
If our network goes down, lives are at stake.
Our comms have to work.
Or the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline, the network that truly prioritizes first responders.
So we don't worry about getting through. And they're the most reliable 5G network in America. Out here,
Yo, Brad wins.
Extreme or routine?
It'd be cool to see Brad win, but last year I actually had this take, and you know I'm still gonna stick with it. I'm still gonna stick with this take, and I hope it's not true because I do like Brad. But my opinion is that Brad Keselowski, like we have seen Brad Keselowski's final win in the NASCAR Cup Series. The 2021 Talladega race that he won, I believe that was his last win that he'll ever get in the Cup Series. And I still think so, but obviously I hope, you know, I like Brad, so I hope it's not true, you know.
One last chance at a playoff push. We know I'm ready to go to work. A few familiar faces have already booked their tickets. Others are running on at the right time. While a herd of hopefuls have some hard driving to do. Those last spots are gonna go quick, so don't blink.
Under 100 laps remaining at the action track as you see position battles happening right here with Bubba Wallace and Ryan.
Has there been any flips in the Cup Series this year?
Fighting for the
I don't think so. No.
The lead, and you saw
I mean, yeah, no. Not in the Cup Series. Saw Sam Mayer at Daytona in the Xfinity Series, but
Truex Jr. for the lead. Here was that.
I don't think there's been, yeah, none in the Cup Series.
Tires. Pretty easy pass for the 17 off the corner, just throttles up. Down the straightaway. Martin's just trying to make lap time out there. Running 26 flats now. Needs to be running a little quicker than that for this strategy to play off. And then the 5 car, he's been running this high line all day long, but got in the fence a little bit. When you run up there, you push limits. No harm, no foul. And this battle here still rages on between Bubba Wallace.
Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, Blaine Perkins and Hemrick.
Bubba battling for 4th position. And I think if Priest can clear the
Totally forgot about those.
drive away, he's a quicker car. But Bubba knows it. If he just holds this outside line, he can work this 41 over, and maybe Priest's tires will fail him a little bit. Bubba will be able to keep the position and then drive away. It's like, why do you run this guy hard? Well, you're trying to get him to work. You're trying to get him to use up his car, use up his rear tires, force him to have to back off and get the spot back to you. Try to regroup.
Yeah, that Blaine Perkins flip was pretty bad.
Let's take a look at the progressive telemetry, and we'll do it with the driver on the outside, Bubba Wallace.
He went like high.
Take a look at how he manages the throttle, the brake.
He just gets the wide open right before the flag stand up on the straightaway. So it's going to give this spot up finally right there to Priest. Slowly he goes back to the throttle. If he went to the throttle any harder, he'd just spin the rear tires and the car would turn sideways. Once again, easy on that throttle. It's like you got an egg between your foot and the pedal and you try not to break it.
And not only when you're spinning those rear tires, you're making them angry, you're hurting them, you're making them run slower later in the run because you are damaging them. It also hurts your lap time. So, you know, I think that this perception about how you drive a race car is you're just driving harder. You know, mash the gas quicker, mash it faster. That's not how it works. You have to be right on the edge of rear grip.
Getting the 19 of Truex finally coming to pit road. You see him on the side of the screen right there. So they're making their pit stop. They're one pit stop with 88 laps to go, Steve.
Yeah, I think basically they just started getting too slow, Dylan. They had to come a little earlier than they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And remember what Martin just reached ahead where they had to come in and get some new tires for Truex.
Would you send him and keep him out there for 87 more laps? I mean, is that, you have to be committed to that and they have to?
Well, I think what this is going to do is give him a bigger chance of window where a yellow will put him in a good position. So, you know, I think they can run 87 laps. Like that's what number they felt like could safely run on tires. It's not optimal, but they just, you know, they were losing too much time.
Brad Keselowski loses spot to the 17 car of Hamlin. Brad struggling just a bit here, running a little bit slower times than the rest of the top 5. Hamlin, though, moving forward. Now looking out the back bumper of Bubba Wallace, DoorDash cam. His car owner closing in through the center of the corner. That's what you love to see when you're in that number 11 and roll up on the car in front of you through the middle of the corner. That's when you know you're better. If you can do it down here, gaining right there in the middle of the corner, man. It's a good-looking car this 11's got here late in the race.
Good enough to get up front?
9 seconds back. I don't know if they can run down Busher, but certainly good enough to get in the top 5, top 3, or I'm sorry, top 3 there. Only, what, a second behind Priest. He's got the speed.
Got a little wiggle there. We saw out of the 23 for the 11 to get on the inside. The 5 down on pit road morning.
After a little brush with the wall, Kyle Larson brings it to pit road. Cliff Daniels telling him on the radio, this is really our only play to do one stop here in stage 3. That's what they're thinking, and they're really running with a 19 car. Cliff Daniels emphasized that on the radio to Kyle Larson. This set of tires will get us back on the lead lap the old-fashioned way. We'll see how it plays out, though, for the 5.
It will be tough, though, right, Steve? Because they're scored 2 laps down right now.
Yeah, Mark Truex Jr. after his pit stop is barely a lap down to the leader. Where the 5, remember that battle he had with Bowman, and he was unfortunately not able to get the free pass. That kind of has put him a lap behind. He's now 2 laps down after his pit stop.
Dylan, what about the 41 and Ryan Priest and the run he's having?
Well, it's even more interesting when you look at his Richmond stats. No finish.
You think Harvick wins before he retires? I hope not.
I don't think all day long. So if he was optimistic at the start of the day and has delivered on that, they tweaked on this car all day long.
Fuck Harvick.
Has been their
Like, why can't he retire sooner?
when he was racing with Bubba Wallace there, you could see it, and he's had it all day.
The fact that he's going to be in the Fox Sports booth next year fucking sucks.
Kyle Busch fans, what a refreshing, successful short track day it's been for the 18, but it didn't start out that way. They started second today, and they fell back to 22nd. But he told Randall Burnett, who is not...
I didn't know he fell back to 22nd.
And they've struggled all year long at the short tracks. He said, I love the last 3 adjustments, much more in the ballgame. Kyle Busch.
Yeah, too bad he's going to be in the Fox booth.
Strong day continues. He'll pit at about 10 laps with the number 3 car. It didn't look like it was going to be good, though, because 2 stints ago, he radioed crew chief Keith Rodden after a few laps on the track after a pit stop and said, I think you went the wrong way on the air pressure adjustments. But
I want a beer.
Later, he said, it's coming to me. Keith said, I knew it would. Junior was never a time when you were absolutely sure they'd made the wrong adjustment, and you know what? The car came to you.
Man, I don't know. Steve, do you ever remember a time when we...
I was going to be honest.
Yeah, I really wasn't a driver that needed to know what you were doing. I was just going to tell you how I drove, how I handled it, and I hope you fixed it, you know. I didn't want to get into the details of, well, what exactly did you change? I felt like that wasn't my role as a driver. I wanted to really trust what you were going to do. Just give you more feedback.
And what makes this track so difficult, we heard it in practice, out of drivers like Kyle Busch, is, you know, even Chris Buescher leading doesn't feel great. You know, it's not like anyone's driving out there going, oh man, my car is exactly how I want it. Every car is slipping and sliding, so it really just comes down to how fast am I going? Is the car in front of me getting closer or the car behind me getting closer?
And for those of you who couldn't see it, there was a very coy look that Junior just gave Steve when he posed that question to him. Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, 1 and 2 here at Richmond.
Hold on.
You don't have to be in the race to be in the race.
Here comes the 94.
Don't miss your chance to race for the million. Introducing the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
What a power move.
Enter now for your chance to win a VIP trip for 2 to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway.
In Phoenix.
With the grand prize winner taking home $1 million. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR, and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
We've come a long way in 125 years. From dirt tracks to super speedways and every track in between. Never backing down, pushing boundaries, and giving it everything we've got. Yeah, we've come a long way, but there's still a lot more road to run. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
Get crafts, sporting goods, restaurants, and the future of NASCAR all from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
Advance in Advance Auto Parts. I need that die-hard power. And the reliability and rugged durability, right? Yes. That's why diehards choose diehard.
And Advance Auto Parts is the home of Die Hard. We'll even install yours for free.
Abuela?
Strawberry. Do I think Austin Hill joins Cup next year? Maybe. I don't know. I think if he does, it'll be for Colleague. Oh my God, Larson just... Wait, no. Hamlin just made contact with Larson again.
Make sure on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern you join Brad Doherty as he will be on NASCAR Radio Channel 90. That's NBC Sports on SiriusXM. Brad Doherty joining the morning drive. So he will talk about this short track racing, and we just saw the 11 and the 5 of Kyle Larson, and I think it took 330 laps before we saw that.
Yeah.
Kyle on newer tires.
Larson just gave him a bump and run.
Just telling Denny, you're not going to be the guy that slows me up. He said before the race he was going to race him different, and that's what that was. Didn't wreck him or anything. Just, hey, I got new tires. Rolling through here. I'm not going to let you slow me up. Move it out of the way. Off he goes.
And I'm not sure you saw no reaction out of Hamlin because I think he was like, yeah. I don't think he's shocked at that.
Into the race. This was fighting for the lead, and up into the wall went the 5 of Larson. Denny Hamlin went on to win the race, and after the race, that was at caution. This is when the 5 got into the door of the 11, showing displeasure. But after the race, Kyle Larson said, I'm going to have to race him different. We just saw it. He went, put the bumper to him, said, hey, I'm going by.
Listen,
I don't think Sam Mayer joins Cup yet.
I feel like
that'll be...
what the 11 did, and I am totally fine with what
I don't know, man. There's so many, like...
Everything has repercussions, and that's kind of like...
There's no one who's, like... has a ride opening, really. Besides, like, Colleague.
And I'm okay if he does.
Maybe Stuart Haas if Almirola retires.
Almost 3/4 of the race through Richmond. I think you're going to see a bunch of that.
You put him in a position to have to lift or not.
Oh, that's good. I like that. You should make a T-shirt.
Yes, we've heard that comment before. Now, Denny might say, or might come back, he's 2 laps down to me, and he put a bumper to the back.
If he's smart, he
Stop that week.
You can't. Like, at some point, you have to just say, okay, and just keep on racing. I mean, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but I don't think he's in a position to complain about how he's being raced.
Hamlin still in that 3rd position, 8.7 seconds back, and one of the fastest cars on the track. Just a matter of time. Can he reel in Chris Buescher? Of course, stops still coming for Buescher, Reddick, Hamlin, Priest. They are all on a 2-stop strategy in this final stage.
Buescher's rolling right along. He's still the fastest car on the racetrack, or at least as good as anybody. And but his teammate, the 6 right here, back on pit road, Dylan.
Yeah, that's right. Brad just was reporting the last few laps. We just lost grip, so they've had that all day long, even on the longer runs, but lost it here on this run. So
I just don't know where Sam Mayer would go.
Adjustments and change tires. Joey Logano in as well. He was reporting he just kept getting freer on his run.
outlapping himself. We just saw the 19 go by. Dylan.
So here's Ryan Preece continuing his good run as well. Hasn't said much on this stint, but as we said, their forward drive has been their strong suit today, and that's what Preece is going to need more of here. Bubba Wallace also backsliding, just losing the balance in the rear of the race car, and it's Toyota, 4 tires and fuel for Bubba.
63 laps to go. Kevin Harvick is on pit road, as also is Chase Elliott. Harvick needing 4 tires. His car, they got to be careful adjusting in here. They thought he had a slow leak, maybe, but they're going to make a chassis adjustment for Kevin's place.
Kyle Busch coming down pit road. He told Randall Burnett a moment ago, we're going to fall like a rock here. We need much more rear grip off the corner. Denny Hamlin also on pit road. So, Steve, this is, I think, earlier than everybody thought they would come here with, what is it, 62 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, this is a little earlier than I thought where they were going to come. This is going to play right in the 19's hand. You see Tyler Reddick on pit road. He had a big moment trying to get to pit road, and pit road is very full.
Yeah, and so far, no word on the radio, but I believe they got on pit road cleanly, even though it was a bit of a big moment for Tyler Reddick, who said, the car's not bad, I just can't run the bottom like everybody else. Chris Buescher comes in front of you, Dylan.
That's right, and he has been really happy with this race car on this run. Don't see any chassis adjustments, but Buescher has been pleased with the race car. Just going to have to keep it out front here to keep the clean air and track position. So Chris Buescher's going to rejoin, and right now it's basically just going to be a battle between Chris Buescher on new tires and the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., who has already pitted his one and only time. There's Truex. He's already on the backstretch. He's going into turn 3. You see on the top of your screen, Buescher is basically half the straightaway behind him. I think he'll have no problem catching him, but that is what the race win will look like. 19 on old tires, Buescher trying to run him down.
Hey, Steve, line violation for Tyler Reddick. You called it. They did not get to pit road cleanly, so one of the contenders will serve a penalty right here. Look at that. And, oh, that's close, but he does touch that orange box. Can't do that, Steve. So one of the contenders out of it here. Tyler Reddick gets a penalty on what should be the last stop of the day.
Yeah, the problem started in turn 3. He just drove in the corner way too deep, did not anticipate the line coming up so quickly, locked the tires up, trying to get to pit road. The car won't turn with the front tires locked up, and he just barely missed it, but just pushing too hard to get to pit road.
A great day gone bad for Buescher. Had a 4.5-second lead, or Buescher had a 4.5-second lead over the 45. So, again, the 45,
he's a lap,
Reddick.
Yeah, he's a lap down to Truex. So he's faster than Truex with the newer tires, so he should be able to drive up there and unlap himself. The 45, Rick.
Ready. Yep.
Yeah, the 45 is coming off pit road, 1 lap down, and so you see the leader right there in front of him. So the 45, I know, is a mistake, but he can unlap himself here quickly. If we do get a late yellow, they'll have an opportunity to try to regroup and rebound and get something out of this day. So while that was a bad mistake, they're still in a decent position to salvage something. I like how you're looking at that too, right, Junior? Because you're instantly saying, okay, hey, we can't go back and do what we did over. So how do you get out of this mess? And it's right here. It was quick work, to your point. And so he's unlapping himself right there. Buescher is not far behind this group right here. There's Buescher going off into turn 1, just about 10, 15 car lengths behind the 19.
If it stays green, Buescher's faster, and it's going to be able to reel in Martin Truex Jr., but that's only if it stays green.
It's going to stay green.
Ray Johnson here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check means a guaranteed fit. Let's ride.
Hey, and one more. I think we got it.
Yeah, let's focus on the RV.
RV?
Okay, everybody look at the RV and smile.
This is what you want for your family portrait?
Good point. We bundled the boat with our home and auto first. Hey, team, get on in here.
Team? Oh. Fun.
Now everyone say 24/7 financial protection with Progressive. 24/7 financial protection with Progressive.
Okay, let's get some singles and me on the bike. Honey?
Yeah.
What track is better, Talladega or Daytona? Definitely Daytona.
If our network goes down,
I definitely think Daytona is better.
Have to work.
Well, the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline, the network that truly prioritizes first responders.
So we don't worry
It's a
about
classic. I mean, Talladega's a classic
they're the
too,
most
but
reliable 5G network.
Daytona,
Out here,
I feel like there's more memories there.
Or routine, Verizon Frontline delivers.
The #1 network choice in public safety. It's your mission. It's your Verizon.
Cool nights start with Ashley this summer, with Tempur-Pedic mattresses starting at $37 per month. Beauty Rest
Yep,
Flex
fuck
starting at
Truex.
$5 per month.
Push her to the
And
lead.
Starting at $39 per month. Plus pay 0% interest for 60 months. In store only. Only at Ashley.
In my day, I tried keeping up with the game. Now with the power of Xfinity 10G network, my little bro is the game. With the Xfinity 10G network, he sees the game from every angle with barely any lag. My little brother, more like my big MVP. Xfinity is a game changer.
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
This guy's trying to start the wave.
Fans trying to get the wave started here at Richmond. And some are playing along. Some are just enjoying the racing taking place, which includes a pass for the lead. Mark Truex Jr. out front and knew this was going to happen if they stayed green. The fresher tires winning out. And Chris Buescher able to get by Mark Truex Jr.
Did Chris Buescher flip twice in his career? Yes. Talladega in 2016 and then last year at Charlotte.
At this stage, the 19 just does not have the long run speed like we saw in stage 2. I don't know what was magic about that run he had where he kind of plateaued off, but he is losing grip versus the other guys he's racing. Now we see the 11 of Hamlin near the 5 again. This looks like a little bit calmer situation. Yep. Right behind him, the 41 of Ryan Preece. You know, he kind of got shoved through the box, got put long early, lost some track position. But this 41 car has really done a nice job all day long. It's hard to believe. Preece doesn't have a top 10 all year. So, I mean, this is an impressive run inside the top 5.
You know, you think about the start of the year at the Coliseum, they were really bad. I thought he had a shot to win that race. And everybody's like, yeah, man, Ryan Preece, he's coming into the circuit, going to have a lot of success. And it's just been a struggle, been way more difficult than he or anyone thought it was going to be. This is what we thought we would see more.
Buescher.
But
Christopher Buescher.
this is you got to persevere. You just got to keep fighting. You got to keep pushing. This series is very difficult.
Crew Chief Chad Johnston's done a good job bringing a great race car to the track for Ryan. And there's
Fox or NBC for NASCAR?
Job. You'll remember Andy in the Truck Series.
I like Mike Joy better
Well
than Rick Allen. I think if you put Mike Joy in this booth, then I'd say NBC. I still think NBC's like overall coverage is better, but I think Mike Joy is a better reporter, better commentator.
From Berlin, Connecticut, Ryan Preece has the expectations of all those drivers who've grown up in the Northeast.
That's nothing against Rick Allen too. I also love Rick Allen. I just think Mike Joy's better.
Ryan Preece to get to victory lane, and right now a great performance here at Ford.
That's a great point, Rick. All these different.
I think Mike Joy is one of the best broadcasters of all time, honestly.
And come up here and have success. He's kind of hanging on to the back bumper of that 11 car of Hamlin. Hamlin passed him before the cycle on the racetrack, so Hamlin with a little bit better race car.
Let's go through the field and we'll
Fuck Harvick. I am so not looking forward to that. Having Harvick being in the booth.
They cycled back to the front of the field and didn't have really too much pressure behind them that they maybe be able to extend this gap.
There's gonna be so many times I'm just screaming at my TV for him to shut the fuck up.
No pressure. Take your time getting through this traffic. Do whatever you need to do to hold on to the race lead. Martin Truex Jr. behind him. We talked about.
I like what Fox did with their getting like a new guest in the booth every week. I think that was pretty cool.
Small said at the start of today, we just have to control the controllables. They were not good. They were back to 26th at one point. They've gone off strategy, tried to do something different. Even if it's outside, even if it's just a top 10, that's still a good day for them, Marty.
Denny Hamlin gets the second spot from his teammate Martin Truex Jr. Their weakness has been the longer run today for Hamlin. That was actually a strength for them in practice, but Denny's saying car just gets too free, so making adjustments on it, trying to be good for the last run. A moment ago, Chris Gabehart said on the radio, this is a heads-up battle. Buescher is 6 seconds ahead, Got your task, Dylan.
Ryan Priest, as we just talked about, runs in the 4th spot. Short tracker, modified ace at heart, and grew up racing on short tracks around America, and that's played to his strengths so far today on a hot, slippery race.
What track is next week? Is it Michigan? Yeah. Michigan. Is it? Yeah, Michigan's next week. Yeah.
Position that they're in right now. Brad Keselowski is trying to march back forward. They lost some grip on the last run, made a couple of adjustments to try to give Brad the feeling back in the race car he wanted. It may not be as perfect as it was earlier when they were out front, but seems to be a little bit better now for Keselowski, Marty.
Right behind him, Kyle Busch flirting with the top 5 right now, and all day long, Randall Burnett's kind of pitted a little bit earlier.
Michigan is better than Richmond. You were right.
Dividends for them, but we'll see how this long run goes here, because that has been their weakest part of their game today. Kyle Busch having a nice solid day though in 6th, Dylan.
Joey Logano rides in the 7th spot. Nice drive through the field for him after starting 23rd. They've really just gotten free on the last couple of runs. They've tried to make some adjustments, and it just kind of seems to be compounding on itself. So regardless, still a nice day. There wasn't a ton of optimism, I don't think, from this camp before the start of the day, but I think they'll be happy with a top 10 run for Logano if they can hang on to that. Right behind him, I think maybe the opposite for Bubba Wallace. After showing so much promise, they backslid here to the back of the top 10. Bubba's biggest report just needs help in the center with turn and lateral grip in the 23. Dave.
Dylan, Kevin Harvick just got around Bubba Wallace there for that position. That will put Harvick into 8th. And there was no leak. I checked with Jamie Tursky, tire specialist, for Harvick. No leak in the 4 cars' tires. They were all up. That means the adjustment, if accurate, should be right in the sweet spot for Harvick. Back now to the 10 of Eric Almirola, continuing to have a good day. Now that he has solidified his position, trying to get more spots before the end of the race. And Austin Dillon still racing well in his Chevrolet. Nice quick stop for the 3 team there. He continues on. Chase Briscoe, perhaps the surprise in 12th. Surprise because he's not been on the screen much today. The 14th car, when I talked to his crew chief Richard Boswell earlier today, he said, I'm cautiously optimistic. We qualified 20th, but Chase is really good here. And they have become really good here, Marty. Chase Briscoe up to 12th.
Dave, I'll go back to the point we started the day with. Tyler Reddick and Billy Scott will both tell you, listen, we've had speed all year long. Execution has been our biggest problem. Sometimes it's on pit road with the crew, sometimes it's with the driver, and Tyler Reddick will admit that as well. The stop a moment ago hit the box, but still on the lead lap. Billy Scott telling him non-stop, Dylan, we still have one of the best cars. We're not out of it yet.
Chase Elliott, the last car on the lead lap, riding in 14. His latest report, the front of the car turns, but the rear tires can't take it. That's really been their mantra all day. The balance has not been exactly where they wanted. They had some speed earlier, but it just kind of gone away from them here over the course of the day. So trying to just dial it in here as best they can and hang on over the course of these final 35 laps, but Elliott just trying to hang on to a big lap spot for now.
Great job, guys, on all of those lead lap cars. 14 of them currently on the lead lap. I want to remind fans, this race started at 3:15, right around 3:15. The temperature in the cars, 134 degrees. They have been racing now for almost 3 hours and only 2 cautions. So really catching your breath, I don't even know if there's ever been a moment you could catch your breath behind the wheel of these cars here at Richmond. Listen in to Denny's radio.
We've forced the 17 into a really long run now. I'm going to need that backside magic here, bud. I got you.
And I think that it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do. He's basically knocked about 3 seconds off of that lead. He's passed a handful of cars to pull into second place. So Hamlin, maybe about a 10th faster a lap.
What's the most boring track in NASCAR? Probably this one, honestly.
But in 32 laps, can he do what he needs to do to make up 6 seconds?
Which sucks, because it used to just be such a great racetrack.
Denny Hamlin, I won't say out of breath, but you can hear the work he's putting in. That's long runs.
Almost winded, and Denny Hamlin might be an anomaly when we talk about an athlete and how he's able to control his heart rate, because he's one of the very few where his max heart rate might get to 120 or 125, maybe 130, where everybody else, you'll see their heart rates up in the 180s and 185 for these drivers. But yes, Denny Hamlin did sound a little bit like, okay, this has been quite a race.
Well, if you look at we just got the updates from everybody on the lead lap, right? So with 30 to go, if you're in the lead, you still have a shot. In my opinion, you get a caution. Everybody's got to put on 4 tires. We've seen chaos in the restarts. It can change in literally a blink of an eye. So if you're Bush or Hamlin,
There ain't gonna be any cautions, bro.
You know, even though you're so focused, you don't want to distract your driver and lose time. But as crew chief, you got to know, how are we driving? If I get it, a pit stop. Now I don't have to run 50, 60 laps on a Sunday.
Yeah, Martinsville is definitely better than Richmond.
So what do I need to do to make the car better? And we're riding on the Coca-Cola bumper cam here with Chase Elliott. He's been sitting right in front of the leader, Chris Buescher, for so many laps. Running good enough lap times, finishing the top 5 with this 9 car. It's battling right there with the 45. So Reddick now, look at Reddick sliding that car around. Reddick in trouble. At a risk of going a lap down after that issue on pit road, the mistake getting on the pit road. He's able to unlap himself. Now he's in a situation where he could go back a lap down. But Chase Elliott with a lot of speed. A caution comes out for this 9 car. They can regroup and get back in this thing, Marty.
And to that point, Junior, remember a moment ago I told you Billy Scott constantly telling Tyler Reddick in that 45 car, we still have the speed. He said, yep, we do, but I can't make passes out here. As good as that car has been all day long, look how he's just stuck back there in traffic. Leader right behind him. He could go a lap down.
I don't think he has the speed anymore. That car is used up. And the 9 car goes around him, and now he's going a lap down. I think the back of his car, the tires on the back of his car are used up.
Well, Buescher's car is just really quick also. He just has the fastest car on the racetrack. There's no doubt about that. And then, you know, the mistake by Reddick, and you put you behind, and then you're not as good as you needed to be, and then the 17 is so much better, and now you're a lap down. And that shows you how quickly things can change. But to your point about the 9 car, his fight right now is to
Caution would be great, but it's not going to happen.
17, no matter what. Because you can get, there's only 13 cars in the lead lap. You get a late caution, and then you know how it goes at racetracks. You get a late caution, then you get another one, you get another one. You could find yourself with a much better finish than you're running right now. You have to keep fighting.
Next car in front of Chase Elliott for position is Briscoe, and when we went through the field, Briscoe is the 4th SHR car. All 4 cars in the top 12 having a incredible race today as an organization. They have struggled all year long. The Fords were slow out of the box the first half of the year. It's been a great day for the Fords though today, and especially SHR.
7 in the top 13 as far as.
Yeah, Richmond should only be on the schedule once.
A Ford driver right here for RFK. You think about Roush drivers and the successes that they have had, especially at this racetrack. Look at this list. Mark Martin, our friend over here, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenson, Kurt Busch, Carl Edwards, all winners here at Richmond. Chris Buescher in a position now. He's 23 laps away. Could he add his name to this list?
Well, if he does, it's going to be bittersweet for Brad Keselowski. Of course, he's going to be excited for the driver that he employs as an owner of RFK. But remember, we pointed out that no yellows, and before this green flag cycle, it was Brad Keselowski who was controlling this race. Now, Chris Buescher was right on his rear bumper, but now Brad Keselowski is in the 6th position, 14 seconds behind his teammate. So, you know, this one's going to sting a little bit. I think he's going to go back to, you know, kind of that funny turn into his pit box, and he'll definitely look back at some areas that he probably wish he could do over.
And those are, with the 6 car getting in his pit box.
It's the best road course in NASCAR. Yeah, definitely Watkins Glen. I kind of wish they would run that that other part of the track though, that boot, that like INSA runs. I wish they would run that part of the track,
That's
but
great information coming to Brad. They're still in the fight here. I mean, that's great information. Hey, good corner. I need that. Keep pushing.
And all these drivers are going to fight right up until the last lap because you never know when a caution comes out. And Steve, it could go into the crew's hands as far as a great pit stop to get somebody out front, depending upon how many laps are left in this race.
So if there's a lap left in this race, you better put new tires on. So if there's a yellow, the pit crew, and this is really the same idea. You talked about the focus for the drivers. They definitely have had the biggest challenge in the heat inside the race car. But it's hot outside, and the pit crews have been sitting for these long green flag runs. You know, you got to stay in the game. You got to stay focused in case you get the ball late.
Denny Hamlin with Ryan Preece now starting to reel him back in. Preece in the 3rd spot, Hamlin running 2nd. They're both.
well, it's been like the boringest race of all time, but no, I wouldn't say all time. I think Martinsville last year, the spring race, probably the most boring race of all time.
And now the 41's starting to get bigger and bigger in that rearview mirror.
But hey, I'd be super happy to see Chris Buescher win.
Big day for the manufacturer. Blue Oval We'll see if they can finish it out with just under 18 laps.
Nobody's out of the race.
It's been quite some time, though. The last time Ford went to victory lane was in May in the Charlotte race when Ryan Blaney was able to win the Coca-Cola 600.
Right here, you see Chris Buescher still putting pressure on the 9 car, Chase Elliott, but that's not Chris's race. Chris has a 6-second lead. He does not have to push Chase Elliott. If Hamlin were 2 seconds away, then he'd have to push hard and try to get Chase a lap down. But right now, it's just a race to 16 laps. That's what it is. You don't really need to put pressure on Chase Elliott. Run your lap time. Keep clean. Do not cause a caution.
Yeah, Newman is in this race.
Just sit right there. And that's the experience that Chris Buescher has. I know he doesn't have a lot of wins, but he has tons of races under his belt. And this is when that experience comes through.
Yeah, he has really good racecraft. Not a guy that gets overexcited or makes a lot of mistakes. You put him in a good race car, and he's going to get the result for you. Ran third here at this race last year. 28 races since his last win.
And a ton of confidence in him. Brad Keselowski constantly talks about how good Chris Buescher is. We've heard Jack Roush talk about how much he loves Chris Buescher, wants him to be part of this program forever. I mean, that's high praise, and especially with a guy that doesn't have, he doesn't have 20 wins or something like that.
Chris Buescher is a really good driver.
But Chris Buescher, he's a grinder, he's a fighter. He's doing a really good job. Not just today, he's done a great job in his career.
Yeah, only 2 career wins. I mean, you guys are mentioning a lot of the statistics and things. The last time he was in victory lane, it was 28 races ago. Last year, 2022, it was Bristol, a short track. Another short track for Buescher as we are starting to see him shine on this discipline.
I was so drunk that race.
Brad led a lot of laps that night as well as he did today. When the 17 car last went to victory lane.
That is one thing I feel that RFK does a very nice job of. Of all organizations, I feel these 2 cars run most similar. Now, unfortunately, when they miss it, they're similar. But when they hit it, they're together. And I think
I love Bristol.
Really what Brad has brought, right? He said, hey, we're going to do this a certain way. We know it's going to take time. We're going to remain patient. We're going to work as in unison as a 2-car team. And that's what we do. When they are fast, they are both fast.
Yeah, when you've got a driver owner, there's a bad habit of putting all the good things on that car, right? But Brad's done a great job of making the whole program better. But now that he's become a part of it, again, I don't want to take credit away from other people there, crew chiefs, engineers, Jack Roush, and everything that he's built. But I think Brad has certainly turned this program around, and it's impressive how both cars, like you say, are running so well.
Junior, it's a mindset. It's not only those people that you just mentioned. It's the people that are working on the cars in the shop. They see what Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski are doing at the racetrack week in and week out. As we've got a spin.
Oh!
And a caution has come
wow.
out for the restart.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looked like there you see Scott Graves.
Oh my God.
On the radio, what do we need? We know we're coming to pit road.
Daniel Suarez just fucking spun out.
Got turned around.
Made the most boring race of all time, maybe a little better.
Changes everything right here.
It's been green the entire race.
Like I say, it's going to put all.
It's the first caution besides the stages.
Pit road. Well, Gregson and Suarez contact into turn 3.
Suarez goes around the big.
That green flag run lasted over an hour.
Caution has come out. Okay, Steve. Now you have so much pressure on these crews. The crews have to have a perfect stop. It's going to be a 4-tire stop for everybody.
Everybody's going to pit. Everybody's going to take 4 tires. You're going to have a perfect stop, or at least a solid stop, right? You can't go so fast you make a mistake. But this is what they train for, is these moments right here. Everybody.
Come on, Kyle. In 4th place.
Put a lot of cars back on the lead lap. Those guys will be on old tires. They won't be a big part of the story.
Big advantage here, Steve, is the 17.
Oh boy!
So many cars between he and the 11. Like, look at all the cars that are between those.
Is Kyle and that crew got that dog in him? I hope so.
17 should have a gap come into his pit box, which should allow them to not have to rush. They shouldn't have to have, a 2-second fast. They could have an equal
pit stop and come off with still the lead. So the 17 needs to take their breath here and not try too hard.
And Jeff, the reason you say that is you can't pull up to pit, correct? That's the gap that you're talking about.
The lap cars will pull up. They'll pull up to the right. And then Denny Hamlin, when they pull up to the right, Denny will start pulling up closer to the 17. But he won't be in his bumper, but he will be a little bit closer. But you can see right here, look at the gap.
On the pit road they come.
Dylan. Only thing the leader, Chris Buescher, asked for was a touch of center turn in the 17 middle of your screen. He'll make an air pressure adjustment. Ryan Preece said he lost drive at the end, but fired off good. That's the important thing for the 41, Marty.
Dylan, we'll see if Denny Hamlin's pit crew can make up any of that gap coming to pit road. He said, I just need more help turning the center, but I cannot be any looser off the corner. The 17 and 41 already coming by.
Go.
Already gone by.
Go.
Denny Hamlin comes in second. Looks like they'll come out.
All right, well, Kyle gained one spot there.
Great. Big stop for the 8. Look at Kyle Busch gaining a spot now. He will be either on the inside of row 1 or he will be in row 2. Remember, they will still choose where they restart. So now it's going to be a fight, and it could come down to less than 5 laps. Who will win here in Richmond?
When you have chronic kidney disease, there are places you'd like to be. Like here.
Let's go, Kyle.
And here. Not so much here. If you have chronic kidney disease, Farxiga can help you keep living life. And Farxiga reduces the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. Life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection.
Yeah, this changed a lot.
Or ketoacidosis.
Farxiga can help you keep living life. Ask your doctor for Farxiga for chronic kidney disease. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Wendy's is open until midnight or later. So give in to those cravings. Get that Baconator.
Give me one honk if you want a Baconator. Let me get that beef for 6 strips of bacon. Oh, there it is. When I say bacon, you say Ader. Bacon. Ooh, let me get a toot on the mega. Okay. Now, what I say? Dude. Sorry.
When the craving strikes, go night mode and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Baconator.
Getting ready for the restart. It will be a sprint to the finish. NASCAR Cup Series Racing from Richmond, presented by Toyota. And it continues next week. We go from a 3/4 mile track to a 2-mile Cooper Speedway in Michigan International Speedway. And Saturday, the Xfinity Series on NBC and Peacock. That starts at 3 o'clock with the race at 3:30.
Why are you putting the Xfinity race on NBC but the Cup race on USA?
2:30 on USA. Yeah, what are we thinking now? As Scott Graves didn't want to see that caution come out, but it did.
All right, drivers, where are we choosing? I think you want to be on the bottom. You know, I think get down and get a good restart, get down the corner, and push them out of the way, win the race. I think the guy
Kyle gives someone the bumper.
So that's what Buescher has done. And we see Kyle Busch has chosen that high line as well in the second row.
That makes me nervous, being on the bottom. Yes, historically on short tracks, take the bottom. But this racetrack, the top will work. The middle will work. If Denny Hamlin can get a good launch right
Gonna go back green with 3 to go.
Just listen to what Buescher and his team are talking about.
Don't let the 11 do you like he did Kyle Larson last week. Just take charge of this one and go win it. We're really good. I've done a hell of a job.
So do you think that might have determined his choice to take the bottom, not let Denny on that inside so that Denny wouldn't be in that position again?
And does Chris Buescher think he has the right to peel the 11 off after what he saw last week?
That's what I would rather heard from the spotters, to say, remember what he did, why don't you do the same thing?
Here we go. It'll be 3 to go.
All right. 3 laps to go. 3 flags in the air.
That's a good launch for the 17. Preece in the 41 side by side with the 11.
Damn, Kyle.
Denny comes on the outside, a big run.
He comes?
Logano as well in the 22. He moves to the outside. But Hamlin has closed the gap. 3 wide for third.
Here comes Hamlin.
This car is better right now.
2 to go.
Oh! He locks up the left front. He's up the racetrack. I bet Joey Logano, where did he
And there.
Logano fighting for that second spot now. Hamlin trying to regroup. They're side by
Coming to the white flag.
Hamlin back out into that second spot.
White flag's in the air. One more time around. Chris Buescher.
After a dominant performance, 86 laps out in front, down the backstretch for the final time. The 30-year-old from Prosper, Texas, which, by the way, has a population of 30,000, is going to win in front of more here in Richmond. Buescher wins.
Chris Buescher wins at Richmond. Wow. That was a fun ending to a boring-ass race. Oh, someone's spinning. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a wreck at the finish. Wow.
Riding it now. The 77 also has gone around and tied.
Wreck at the line.
Cars stayed out, got the way around on the whole tire position, and they wrecked for a lap. Yeah, they did. They had it. What a great day for Buescher. Round Speedway, Keselowski racing. Got a feel for Brad Keselowski, leading so many laps, had such a strong car. I know he is absolutely thrilled to have won this race as a team owner, but man, he cannot wait to go to victory lane himself as a driver.
You mentioned RFK. Keselowski and Buescher combined led 189 laps. They were the top 2 lap leaders in this race. Caution late in this one made it harder for Buescher. But what a launch he had on the restart. This checkered flag moment brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts.
A good ending to a boring race. Yeah, I agree.
Shredded rubber coming off.
But third place.
4 out of the top 6 all driving forward.
Third place, really good.
Can we make that comment early?
Back at the short track, for sure.
Crew coming out.
The pride of Prosper, Texas gets a win here at Richmond. RFK dominant here on a warm Sunday afternoon. Richmond race fans, Chris Buescher is your winner.
Let's go, Brandon!
This organization has worked
Someone's
so
screaming that in the
hard
background.
to get to this point and back to victory lane. Of course, won Bristol, as we showed a moment ago last year. But this one guarantees their spot in the playoffs. And that's worth a hug for everybody on the race team.
This confirms it, though? You're a curse? What do you mean? He finished third. He finished third. That's a...
On a hot and exhausting day.
Doesn't confirm shit. Maybe it confirms it in your twisted mind, but... He finished third.
Helmet coming off. Boy, what was your thought when that call?
Oh, no. That's your point, though. Is that he... Okay, no, I see now. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Stay over there, try and take care of this fast on Mustang. And
No, yeah, you're right.
Over RFK, the 17 team gave me a great hot rod.
I thought you were talking that I cursed him for this race. I'm like, what?
Trying to take care of it there, and about the time Scott came ready, I said, "That's working perfect."
Yeah, no, you're right, Jaden.
So, yeah, that's about right. But I knew even on our green flag stuff, we were so strong during the race, so I had a good feeling about it there. So pretty awesome to pull it off.
Yeah, the first time in 2 weeks that I'm not at the track.
That's a long way from the back this morning, so
Kyle gets third.
It was 7 days ago that I was talking to your crew chief, Scott Graves, and he said, we're a 6th to 15th place car right now. As an organization, we need to take a step forward. Are you surprised it came so quickly and in such dominant fashion?
We've had this one circle since last fall, so I was really hopeful this could be the one that would turn the page for us, and sure enough, right off the truck, I thought it was. So I hate that qualifying went the way it did, because I was sitting there just beating myself up trying to figure out what we're going to do from there. But made the victory lane here in Richmond. I told you to flood this place 3 years ago, so my opinions are changing quite a bit here, and
he's cried.
What a day there. That's awesome.
I know it was fun racing the boss. Is there a way to describe to the fans here and the fans at home how much work has gone into this for RFK to get back to victory lane?
Probably not. I mean, there's so much that's happened in 15 years I've been there. But the last 2 years, last 18 months, just to see the turnaround, new car kind of being a good reset for us to be able to be competing for wins at a lot of different styles of racetracks, and a couple checkered flags now. Some great pit strategy there, some great pit stops. You know, it's every department working hard to make this happen and get us this checkered flag. We've been talking about this a lot, and you don't get to ask me about points anymore.
There you go. No more talk about points, because they are guaranteed, Rick, to be in the playoffs. Chris Buescher, the 17 team, they'll be a playoff player this year with the win here at Richmond.
Right, Marty? The win and you advance to the playoffs has happened for Chris Buescher. He will now head
Alrighty,
to
fuckers.
Mortgage Victory Lane.
Well, that's where I end this stream. Next week.
Chris Buescher, after a dominant performance toward the end of this race, had to show his skills on a restart, and he did just that. He was able to put some
Next week there's no
second place Denny Hamlin.
No truck race next week.
Long fights, but big smiles for all RFK.
Xfinity next week is at 3:30, and I work at I work at 4:30 next week, so I will not be streaming that. And then the Cup race is at 2:30, so I'll be live at 2:15 for that. So yeah, I will see you guys next week.
So all this time I could have had USA Insurance and banking. What are your thoughts?
Chris Buescher and Denny Hamlin have been disqualified. Kyle Busch is the winner.
And their family.
I wouldn't even want to win a race like that. Like, I wouldn't even want that to happen, you know? So, but yeah. Boring race, but fun times. I think I'm going to go watch